All right. Welcome back, everyone, to block party number 23. Woo! 23rd week in a row without missing a weekend. And Sailesh, if I'm not mistaken, you've been to every single one, if I'm not mistaken. And thank you so much for that. You've been just such a pillar of the block party. And it simply would not be anywhere near the same without you.
Right. Thank you.
There's no question about that. And I don't even know if there'd be a block party without you. It probably wouldn't really make much sense. But anyway, I could go on and on. I'm just going to sum it up by saying we love you, Sailesh.
Oh,
We love you
thank you.
so much and are
I
so
love
happy
you
you're
too.
back. Thank you. And
I love
please
you all.
take it away, Sailesh.
Yeah. So this is the Food Healers segment for those who are new to this. Food Healers is the initiative that we started to address what is happening right now in the world. So the World Food Program, based on what has happened with the COVID-19 pandemic, the World Food Program is estimating that the number of people who are hungry is going to double by the end of this year worldwide. And in the US, it's going to go up by 50%. So that is their estimate. And in the past, when we had major disruptions like that in society, it led to world wars, so upheavals. So, but this time we are prepared. We should be prepared. We need to be able to do something about it, because even if 1.6 billion people are going to be hungry by the end of this year, that means there are 6.2 billion people who are not hungry. And we should be able to support our fellow human beings, with food, with nutritious food, and then rebuild a new system on the foundation of healthy, immune-boosting food. So that's the idea behind Food Healers. And so we've been working on an app called K-Mama, which I'm told is going to be live any moment. So you can download it directly from Google Play or iStore. Hopefully in the next couple of days, it should be there. And then they're going to walk me through the source code, so we know what's in there, and so we can modify it ourselves. So I want to post that on GitHub and give access to people who want to modify it and change it and add features to it and whatnot. So that's where we are. And I was mentioning in the morning that we had a bit of a setback with the local effort in Tempe, because the coordinator of that effort, her dad had a stroke and her sister got COVID-19, her niece got COVID-19, so she's being a nurse. She's pretty much a full-time nurse right now, so she's not able to come to school or do anything. So she's asked that we postpone the distribution from next Monday, which is to the beginning of August. So meanwhile, we are figuring out, we're trying to get all the supplies for the boxes. And, and I'm finding out how much more expensive processed food is compared to just grains and vegetables and, and legumes. Even buying retail, they're much less expensive. I mean, you get a lot for the money you're putting out, right? Because the cereal, we are buying cereal, and I'm paying $2 for a box of Cheerios, even though we're buying 400 boxes. So, and you would think that, for that kind of money, we can actually get, I think, something like 2,000 pounds of rice for $800, right? So everyone could have gotten 5 pounds of rice instead of 1 box of Cheerios. Anyway, that's the difference. And that's even retail, right? It's not even going to Alibaba and buying rice. So, yes, Jamin.
Well, I would like to make a bold proposal that you remember the original Star Wars movie, of course, right? And remember when the Millennium Falcon's taking off and they're being pursued and they're trying to make the jump to light speed, right? And that just changes everything. It's just transformational. It's like, whoa, right? So I propose similarly that we bang on the wall of the Millennium Falcon, one good bang, and we make the jump to light speed. What does that mean? Let's put together a campaign that we are going to eradicate hunger in, and you pick the city, Sailesh, because that's your turf, right? And we say we're kicking it off with one, container full or truckload or, whatever the unit is that you found on Alibaba of lentils. Can you share with us again what the price was and how many kilos or how many pounds it was? Because this is, if you don't mind my taking us in that direction, I don't mean to,
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can just look it up online. You can just say Alibaba, lentils or dal, moong dal is what I was looking for. Moong dal wholesale. And it'll give you a list of, wholesale dealers, and it'll give you a list of dealers. And actually, I found a dealer in Canada who sells it for $135 a ton.
$135 for 1,000 kilos or 2,200
Right,
pounds, right?
right.
Take
Retail.
note, okay? $135 for 2,200 pounds is like a nickel a pound-ish,
Right,
a little more than that, maybe six and a half
right,
pounds, something like that, okay? So, for lentils are a superfood, protein, fiber. They've got their own spice. They're delicious, right? And then mix it with rice and bam. And so I say the jump to light speed looks like this. Let's budget, how many tons, a truckload of that stuff so that we economize on the shipping, because even though the food is cheap, the shipping may be expensive. But
right.
anyway, the optimal is a full truckload, right? And let's do a truckload of the lentils, a truckload of whole grain rice, probably several truckloads of potatoes, a truckload of pasta, and then we're probably down to hundreds of kilos for spices and whatnot. And we just put together a budget, and it'll be what it'll be, right? It'll be a few tens of thousands of dollars. And we say, look, with this, this is Operation Stone Soup, right? Or Operation Stone Stew. That's almost a tongue twister, right? I can tell I'm putting Kelly to sleep, and I apologize for that. I'm just kidding. Sorry, it's a block party. We like to have fun here, right? Okay. But I know Kelly and Ray, you got your hand up. So as soon as I'm done with my little Jamin monologue here, then I'll turn it over. But here's the thing. We put out the message. We're going to eradicate hunger in the city of blank. And we're starting like this, and we got the kitchens lined up, and we got the trucks lined up, and we're going to bring super stew. And I can't wait till Nadira gets back to join the conversation. She's probably listening in, just like hiding under a kitchen table, because I'm so passionate about this, and she knows what's at stake here. So it's okay, Nadira, you can come out. I'm just kidding. Anyway, but let's make this super. And Nadira is also extremely good at marketing. And Sailesh, you're plugged into some incredibly, not just marketers, but philosophers come marketers, like Ray and Kelly, for example. So, and among others. So anyway, with that, I'm just trying to tee you up. I know you got something brilliant there to say, but maybe back to you, Sailesh, first. But you know what? Let's do this. Let's make the jump to light speed. Let's get out the bulk delivery, and let's show them in one fell swoop. We will feed the entire state. And at that point, you know what? Donations are just going to come pouring in. There's going to be a river of money coming in, and mayors calling you from Louisville to Brooklyn to wherever, saying, come, work your magic here. We just need your endorsement. And then the donations will come flowing. Seriously, this is our moment. Let's think big and let's do it. One swing of the bat, American style, and bam, we got this. With no disrespect to the Canadians. Hey, the Canadians are some of the best teams in the league, for crying out loud. Okay, back to you. Thanks.
Go ahead, Ray.
Like one slap at the puck. I get it. You were not boring me at all. You had my full attention, Jamin.
We had some calls?
Yeah, I was gonna ask Sailesh, has there been any sort of outreach to maybe because I know, like you were saying, cereal's not cheap. You know, peanut butter is not cheap. Sort of these staples that we want, that they probably want in their cupboards. Have we done any sort of outreach to companies, maybe more companies that might be more ethical, to see if we can get inexpensive stuff if we purchase in large quantities? Like, I know I'm sure the peanut butter is there too. Like, I think it's called Earth Balance. They have, like, an ethically sourced peanut butter here, typically fairly expensive, but maybe they'll donate, maybe they'll give it to us cheap. Maybe some cereal brands that are, not Kellogg's or whatever, that we can possibly get cheap. Has there been any outreach to any type of companies like that to see what we can get donated, or if there's an opportunity to buy from them cheap?
Yeah, we have gone through a number of those. There are a number of companies, a number of organizations that connect you with companies that would like to donate. But they donate whatever is surplus for them, which typically is not what you would like to give to people. I mean, like there's one organization that connected us with restaurants that wanted to donate excess food, but it was all prepared food. It was usually pizza or something like that, which I mean, I can connect them with Valerie directly, but that's not something we can put in a box to give to people. Mm-hmm. So other than that, there are other organizations that have actually asked us to figure out how to get them rice and beans. And it's like, I went to Costco and bought it. So
I'll reach out to the Toronto Vegetarian Association here, because I know they get like some really good things. I'm assuming donated to them, like vegan granola bars. I think it's called, what is it called? Make good or good, like, they get really good stuff, and maybe they're buying it cheap, or maybe they're donating it. So we can find out, right? And maybe they have connections. Yeah. So if we, and we can utilize them. I mean, they'd just be a good resource anyway to do.
Yeah.
Right?
So we've been going, I mean, we are looking at wholesalers for granola bars and things like that. Overall now, for all the items in Valerie's list, our bill is around $2,800 at the moment. That's how much we are budgeting that we have to pay. That's based on getting the best prices from retail stores, But so far, no one has really offered us, other than Safeway. Safeway did a good job. So they gave us like 25 cents per pound for beans and rice. For beans, actually, not rice, beans. So we got 200 pounds from them for $50. That was a really good deal.
We have some really good, like, small independent stores here that I know are doing really good things. So I'm wondering if, maybe avoid like big box grocery stores, maybe they're not going to be so helpful, but some of the smaller places, and we have lots of bulk places here too. So
right.
We have a Toronto Vegetarian Food Bank as well. Are they functional right now?
Yep.
So we'll definitely loop them into the process once we start talking about Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's something that we can find that's Canada-wide. So when the Kimola app launches and people start hearing about it here, that's something that we can help drive.
And they're very charismatic people too.
Very nice. So this is just the beginning, right? So the distribution we are doing in August will be just the beginning, and then we'll be enrolling them in the app. And but as you said, Ray, I think the app can also be used for distributing boxes like this once a week. So you can have, whatever frequency. You can say the next distribution is going to be this date, and then people can come and collect on that date. So it's fairly generic in that sense. It just has the community center can add anything they want on the app to describe what it is that they're supplying.
You mean like it's a daily meal, or it's a box, or it's
right?
Or
yeah.
Ingredient box where you take home and make yourself.
Correct. Yeah, it could be just the ingredients for the stew.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and we all do the same stew, so to speak, because we are all getting the same bags, right?
Okay.
We've been thinking about how to use food activism, the typical food, like Kelly's the veganabler on Facebook. How can we enlist the help of activists who want to work with food to enhance this experience? Because if you've got a lot of basic ingredients,
Mm-hmm.
how versatile we can be with them is, of course, very relevant. So giving cooking courses on how to make the best out of your lentils or TVP or whatever you happen to,
Right.
A fully vegetable ratatouille or something like that.
Or even just making seitan, like, we could probably find Vita Weekly pretty cheap, and they'll be like, what's this? How on earth do I use this, right?
Right.
Here's how you make, and it's cheap, very cheap, you get a lot out of it, and here's how you make some seitan, go beef for your stew, right?
So there is an opportunity for the community center or the temple or the synagogue, once it gives out a box, to then have a Zoom event where they cook with the ingredients in that box, so that everybody follows along and sees, what it is that you're doing with it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, I can see that most other activists are beginning to see the connection with food now. It's becoming more and more obvious for people. So during the peace convergence, we really got the whole group to say, yeah, we want someone cooking vegan food every day during the peace convergence for 11 days. So, and Jane agreed to do that. Jane agreed to host her lunch break live on during peace weekend. So at 12 o'clock Pacific time every day, she'll be on. And then maybe even have a special room where there is a medical doctor that you can go and talk to, about whatever issues you have with nutrition and diet. And I'm sure Dr. Michael Clapper would be happy to do that, at least for a few hours, in a day. So we can recruit doctors to come and be there, so people can come and ask questions. So basically, during Peace Weekend, Peace Convergence and Peace Weekend, they want to have all 11 days to be vegan. So they're all saying, we should be doing this because we're talking about peace. And you can't be talking about peace and still be eating animals. So at least that level of awareness has come to the peace community. I think also the way the convergence was organized, it worked in our favor, because there were maybe 6 or 7 of us from base camp who showed up for both the morning session and the afternoon session. But then they randomly assigned us to rooms. So every room there was someone talking about veganism. Almost every room, right? So it worked in our favor.
Trying to divide our power. It's bad. I was thinking about last week when I did my little tirade against restaurants and the concept of shifting from restaurants to places of worship being, significant on multiple levels. But having thought about it further, we also have to kind of rescue that the people who are working in that industry and make use of their skills, especially vegan restaurants. Right. We've just been to one recently, and they've expanded to another location, so they're hopeful for the future. But if the second wave of COVID is worse than the first, then we may be looking at trying to consolidate communities and using all that knowledge and experience and availability of people who are in the food service industry is something to keep in mind. As you say, feeding people constantly every day, and if we feed them for every one meal every day, there's 2 other meals that we can do.
Go ahead, Jamin.
All right, Deirdre has her hand up, followed by Jamin. Go for it. Deirdre. Sorry, Deirdre.
I answered anything close and I'm not offended because it's an Irish name and people are used to the French version or the Irish. I'm not offended. But I have some questions for you. I kind of mentioned earlier in the last one is that, like, from the time I was born, I literally couldn't eat for the first week. They had to feed me through my ankle. And so I have a ton of food allergies. I don't eat bread. I don't eat onions, leeks, garlic, not garlic, but ginger, lemongrass, bell peppers. There's so many things that totally just set my system off. How I actually gained weight is they put me on medication and I took myself off of it because it made me gain weight. But so I have all these food allergies, which make it really hard to be a complete vegan or hard to be a vegetarian because so many of the dishes contain all these foods you're allergic to. So, you know, I do eggs and I don't eat processed food because I'm actually allergic to the food additives. So that makes it easy. But so maybe you guys could address some of those issues, have some of these people that are really good about coming up with maybe some recipes for people that have some of these issues.
Yeah, we, the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, so PCRM.org, has a whole initiative called Universal Meals, where they take out all common allergens. So they have recipes that don't contain any common allergen, but maybe you have some other special allergies that you need to be careful about. But at least that's a good start. You can start with those, and then you can see what you need to substitute over there. But their recipes tend to be nutritionally complete. So they kind of give you these are things that you can eat that would keep you healthy. And they also have online consultation. I think it's valid in, where do you live, Deirdre?
Alaska.
Alaska.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but please take a look. I think they have about 18 states where they can do online consultation. They're licensed for that, and then they can help you out.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All righty. So Jamin's next in the queue, and I don't see any other hands up. So if you'd like to comment or just either raise your hand either electronically or get my attention, and I'll acknowledge you when you do, and then you'll be in the queue. So what I wanted to talk about briefly is, and welcome back, Nadira. Great to see you back. Thank you. What I wanted to, so you've heard me talk many times about the 22 immutable laws of marketing, right? And law number 1, it's better to be first than it is to be better. And I talk about the importance of blasting into the mind. Both of those are relevant here. But the law I want to talk about now is called the law of the singularity, that in any given situation, there's a singular move, right? That will take you right to your goal. There's an optimal path, right? There's a ridge, there's a crest on the mountain ridge that takes you to the top of Everest. And the singular move, I think in this case, is very clear. Let's make that super stew. Because among other things, everyone's going to want to know, everyone's going to want to try it. I mean, we talk it up, okay? We give it a marketing name and positioning and everything that is just designed to just blast into the mind. And everyone's got to try this stew. Nutritionally complete, it's the last meal you'll ever need. You know, something like that. They're just like, what? Right? That's part of the blast into the mind. Okay. We're going to define the category of the mass super stew that everyone has to eat, and everyone's going to eat. Right. And we just get as passionate. We get like passionate, like a big time wrestler or something. Say, yeah, everyone's going to eat. Everyone, you know, and we just get all crazy about it. And then as the trucks go out with this refrigerated, cold, ready to go super stew through the neighborhoods, and we're just dispensing it, I'll be on top singing Spanish love songs with amplification and karaoke background music. I've done so much of that. I'm going to do it tomorrow, literally, here on Whidbey Island, in training. And another thing, here's what we're going to do. We're going to kick it off with truckloads. I will personally commit to rounding up all the donors. You're going to have donations of truckload of lentils, truckloads of rice, truckloads of potatoes, truckloads of veg, right? Truckloads of whatever you need. I'll commit to that if you'll commit along with me to making the whole thing happen. You get the kitchen lined up. You provide the kitchen, I'll provide the food. What could be simpler? Huh? I'm making you an offer you can't refuse, Sailesh.
Right. I see Daniel sitting there, and I know he has a kitchen that's at his disposal, a community kitchen.
Well, you know,
I can jump in here quickly. I mean, what kind of volume are you talking about?
We're going to feed the entire city.
The city of?
Sailesh?
So Tempe.
Tempe. City of Tempe.
All right, so you want to cook up a storm and reach out to as many people as possible and offer them the vegan super stew that is the all-around nutrition that tastes fantastic. And
that's right. And
then buy that, that's your ridge into the marketplace and say, look, what else we got? And we have a whole way of living that, and we have the philosophy, we have the people, we have the energy, we have, we have what veganism really means in the background of that. You know, I'll talk to Ingrid about it. I mean, our kitchen is certainly not big enough for that. I wouldn't think, but I can, you know, once again, for me, always the question is, what is the energy of the people that are coming together? You know, veganism is a symptom of the way we live. It's a symptom of our humanity. It's not, you know, I think it's always, so many things are upside down. We try to get to the cause through changing the symptom. But we got to get to the cause, and the cause is always, can we bring people together around a common goal or a common, something that we really can feel, and not just for a moment, but feel again and again and again. I mean, nothing in the vegan world would really be where it's at without Sailesh. It's just, there's this guy, every time you see him, you see like basically the word vegan radiating from his head. It's like constantly going on, right? And for me, you will hear community and oneness and really feeling each other. Because if we can't go there, if we stay in our head and stay in strategy, it's going to fall like so many other things. I've seen it over and over and over again. You know, the connections that you make, Sailesh, to so that veganism doesn't stay sort of like over here, like a top-down idea for people. When it becomes a top-down idea and it becomes like a raised index finger and say, hey, you got to become vegan, you know, if you're a responsible human being. You know, humans are, they say, immediately say, well, you want me to do that? Well, I'm going to do this, you know, because I am my own person. I make my own decisions. You don't make the decisions for me. And that's a very strong force in us. We don't admit it, But if you go to any meeting, 90% of the time is spent around that emotion. It seems like to me oftentimes, right? It's because everybody needs to establish themselves and everybody, but when you connect veganism to the fact that they can't kill an animal themselves, then they start feeling something, and it becomes something that starts to connect with the inside, with the change that needs to take place here. Because I mean, I know people who are from their head completely committed to veganism, and still, they just, I can't figure out exactly why they can't make it. The only thing I can think of really that is going to accelerate this process that is happening is an enlightened community around veganism, and veganism around an enlightened community. And that means a community that's really powerful enough to pull this off, you know. I mean, if you bring all the food, that is amazing. That is a huge commitment. That is fantastic. And if you, you know, what about organic, GMO free? How about that?
Well, I here's the thing. When you say organic, there's organic and then there's certified organic.
Let's just call it clean as possible.
As clean as possible, because, you know, the lentils, I don't think lentils really need much in the way of pesticides or anything. I'm not a lentil farmer, but, you know, I think they've got some pretty good natural resistance built in. That's the extent of my knowledge. So even if it's not certified organic, as long as it's good, as long as it's, you know, clean enough to eat, you know, just like the sociocrats, the sociocracy says, you know, good enough to try, safe enough to start, whatever. If it's clean enough, if it's good enough to eat, right? If you'd feed it to your own granddaughter, that's, for me, that's the litmus test.
Yeah.
Would you feed this to your own granddaughter? And then Sailesh can stare the cameras right in the eye, right?
So you bring up lentils. The recipe is already there. There's a recipe for it.
That's a question for Miss Nadira, right? And other expert vegan chefs, right?
Well, Ingrid is a chef, and
well, bring her on. You know, Benjamin and Suzanne cooked up a delicious vegan stew.
Oh my God, there's so many vegan. Oh, well, I feel so privileged. You know, I don't know. Somebody's here, Jack Solomon from
Jackie. Yeah.
From what were they doing in Tucson? Global Fusion LLC, Global Fusion Community Kitchen. So, you know, I'm curious about that because that's what we exactly do in Phoenix. You know, ultimately what you need is, I think, smaller circular community kitchens that serve a certain population of people. And the people, not an economic commitment. Again, that's strategy, but we have customers for 10 years. We have people who order every week for, I cannot tell you how long. It's amazing. We have, when COVID came on, our business grew for 20%. The connection between our customers and us is even deeper than it ever was. We can't do our community dinner right now, but we used to do community dinner. Sailesh came many times, you know, pay as you can. So really promote a message of feeding everybody, you know, because top down is not possible, even organizational, you know. Part of the reason why Amazon is so bad, it uses so much energy because it's so centralized. It needs to be decentralized. We need models. When I see that somebody wants to do a very similar thing, it seems like in Tucson, then we need to help each other, you know, because we have done this for 10 years. And we know some tricks, you know, we know some ways to do it. And as we band together, we can form a kind of economy that's more circular, where we take care of people and they take care of us, and everybody can relax, you know, all this. We got to be a pole that goes the other way. You know? That's, you know, that's my idea about it. And I kind of like the idea with the vegan super stew, but I think we should have at least 4 or 5, or, you know.
You see how fast the idea is spreading? It's already spread down to Tucson. It was born 5 minutes ago, and it's already spread its way down to Tucson, and we're going for 3 or 4 more. Okay, Jimena, did I hear Mexico City? Guess what? The biggest city in the world just signed up. Okay, this thing is going to spread like wildfire. The singular move, okay, is to stop talking about it and do it. I'll bring the food.
Yeah.
Sailesh, please line up the kitchen or kitchens, plural. Let's get several in on the game. And you know what? This will be a feel-good story because some industrial kitchen that had to close down because of XYZ, I don't know what. You know what? They're bringing the workers back, and we're firing up the, you know, the vertical cutter mixers. We're, you know, the potato washers, whatever, right? People are back to work, and food is being produced to feed the entire city of Tempe, Arizona, right?
I think it's Jamin.
Yes.
I think it's got a real World War II feel to it. I feel like, you know, and it's already happened. You know, people feed armies. I mean, that is a brilliant. It's incredible the way the armies work, isn't it? Feeding all those soldiers. You know. So it has been done. We've had really good food programs in the UK. You know, after the war, everybody had school meals. You know, and all the poor had free school meals. And then these horrible, evil people came in and took it away. You know, those ones.
Hey, Jamin.
Yes, Babaji. How are you doing?
I got your attention. You know, wow. I think that this is the plan. If we could feed everybody, then they can listen. But if you can't feed them, we don't really have anything to say. That's always been my plan. Once you can feed a man, then he'll sit down with you and you can talk. So I'll tell you this. I have a family, not in the moment, but I had a family of 5, I guess. Let's see, I had 3 children and myself. I guess that's 4. And I could feed them on $200 a month. I was on food stamps. And I learned how to get my bills down to $50 a week. Most people spend that in a day at a restaurant. So I know how to do it. I use Mexican food mostly. And not only that, I mean, they have cheese and beans and tortillas, right? And you can do so much with that. And then I used a lot of, like cheese sandwiches and, you know, grilled cheese and tomato soup and rice and pasta. And I had it down. I could just feed my family on, what, $50 a week. And there was 4 of us. And so I know. And we never got anything wrong with us. Our health was perfect. And still is, all right? And the secret, I think, is protein. I had chickens, and I couldn't get them to lay eggs unless we gave chickpeas, or not chickpeas, but lentils. If they didn't get any protein, they couldn't lay eggs. And so people need protein, right? And I know the superfoods. I know them. Chickpeas is one of them. If you get chickpeas, my God, you know, just add something to that, and you can. And anyways, I'm glad that you gave me that much time. I would talk more if we had time, but yes, I would love to help you with this. I'm donating $50 today. I may not be able to give more, but at least I got so excited that I stepped up to the plate, and maybe somebody else would do the same thing. But at $165 a ton, my God, such a deal.
And that's going to be my message to the donors is, look, you can make history here. You know what we're doing? Here's the thing. This is a true story. I am great nephew of a signatory of the Declaration of Independence, William Whipple. My middle name is Whipple. And great Uncle William didn't have children of his own. So it's his great nieces and great nephews who carry on his legacy. And that actually means a lot to the blue bloods who I'm going to go after. And I'm going to say, look, we're signing, right? In this case, it's not going to be John Hancock. It's going to be Jamin Whipple Shively. Okay, you want to talk about legacy? Legacy trumps currency. Jamin Whipple Shively is putting down as John Hancock. Are you going to join him or not? This is a declaration of independence from hunger and malnutrition and carnivorism.
I'm
Are you in or out?
I'm in. I even said it before you did.
No,
I'm in.
I've got some rich friends and relatives who I'm going to hit up. But this
Hey,
is
they can't eat their money.
can't
You hear
eat
that? When the shit hits the fan, man, money's not going to matter.
And you know what?
Food is the where it's at.
If we don't do this now, you're going to have pitchforks coming up your butt.
Oh, now don't say that. We don't want to use threats. Oh, I mean, come on.
All right, thank you.
Just let their guilt and their shame take over, because we don't have to say anything.
No,
I don't want one person to ever go to bed without a meal. I lived in the streets in 3 different countries. You're going to love my story. I'd love to get your email and send you my my resume. But I was homeless in India for 8 months, and I didn't have any money, and I traveled from Madras all the way to Kashmir, and I started at Delhi, and you wouldn't believe the time I had, and I'm going to document it. I'm the American yogi, and I got enlightened in America, right, by accident at the Detroit Museum. And it was a really great story. I got invited to the Sunday feast by the Hare Krishnas, and I was on my way to the feast, and I saw this statue. It was a Rodin. It's the thinker, made of brass. This guy with his hand on his chin, looks like he's on the John. But I wanted to go see that guy. So I went up the steps, and the doors were open, and something was going on inside. And somehow I got pulled in, and there was this guy named Black, Reverend Black, and he happened to be a disciple of Paramahansa Yogananda. I didn't know anything about spirituality. I went in there, sat down, they did this meditation, and I got enlightened. It was a meditation just like the one Mark is doing, And wow, I bought a copy of Autobiography of a Yogi on the way out the door. I went home, I read the chapter on meditation. I'll tell you what, within 2 weeks or 3, I'm not sure exactly how much time, I renounced the world. I gave up everything I had and went to Hawaii. And I'd love to document every detail of that trip from the time I met Paramahansa Yogananda, right? And until today, where I am today. I am Babaji, and that would have never happened. And I believe I am that Babaji, the one in the book, because that was like my hero, and his spirit took me over. And believe me, there's a lot of people that will tell the same story with Paramahansa Yogananda's Autobiography of a Yogi. Steve, I'm almost done. Steve, you know what Steve I'm talking about, right? The computer guy. He gave a copy of that to all his employees. It's unbelievable, that book. So I recommend the book, and thanks for listening. And I'm really happy to know you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste. My hands are together. Wait till I get a camera, then you can see my smile. You guys really make me happy. Thank you so much.
We can feel your smile, brother. We can feel it right in the heart.
Wow. Well, I didn't cry this time. We weren't talking about anything too sensitive. But I swore to God, and I'll do it again, that if I have a way of doing it, there'll be free pizza for everybody all over the planet. And if the churches want to distribute it, that's fine. But I think that the least we could do is pizza and salad. Go ahead, Marco. No, I stepped aside. I thought somebody wanted to say something.
Oh yeah, no, we got you. We got you.
But we're gonna. It's on my list of things to do. Number 1 is to feed everybody in the entire world. There will be no more hunger, I swear to God. And my second thing is to no more war. I want to bring all the troops home. And by the way, I'm running for president. This is the craziest thing ever. But the ETs told me it was a done deal, whatever that means. So if you see anybody, just say Jesus Christ 2020, and we'll see what happens. I mean, really. I mean, it's the most.
We got your back. We got your back.
It's the most insane idea I ever had. But changing my name legally to Jesus Christ in 1984 was pretty far out.
My brother, if I could stuff the ballot boxes with your name on it over Donald Trump or whatever stuffed shirt the Democrats are putting forward, I would do it.
The reason that you have such an idiot for a president is because it's easy for me to beat him. Don't you see? There's really no competition here. I tell everybody, heaven or hell, it's your choice.
All right.
Joe Biden, Donald Trump, or Jesus Christ. Come on.
All right.
Isn't that easy?
Babaji, if you want to get a commercial promoting your campaign for president, my sister Jackie will be happy to talk with you about setting up a contract. And But anyway, right
By
now,
all means, by all means,
all
by
right.
all means. I think it's going to be a piece of cake, brother. I really do.
But for now, my
All I
brother.
need, excuse me, all I need is a woman for vice president. And I'm going to get a bunch of
All right,
votes.
ladies.
Bye.
No, okay.
I
But
mean, I'm ready. I'll get my own Zoom channel, and you guys can take the what
well,
do
you
you
know
call
what?
it?
Listen, whatever we call the stew, let's make that the name of your political party. And guess what? I
No,
think
it's already made up. It's the Patriot. If you're not a Patriot, then just
okay,
pack up.
Patriot Stew,
No, the Patriot Party.
Freedom Stew. We're gonna call it Freedom Stew.
Well, if it's just free, that'll be good enough.
We'll
Everybody
George
wants
W. Bush
free
to vote it.
stew. Come on.
Freedom
I
Stew.
can't guarantee freedom, but the soup is free.
That's right. Anyway, look, let's talk stew because I think we're really close. So we'll line up the food. I mean, I'll get the first. I'm committing to rounding up all the funding needed for the first truckloads.
I paid $50, so my money's where my mouth is. Okay.
And I thank you for that, Babaji.
Let's do it. That's the slogan. Let's do it. And we're going to do whatever needs to be done to turn this thing around. And then guess what? The angels are going to join us. They're asking right now. They're asking, please. They say, please invite us to the party. So all we have to do is open our hearts and bam, it's done. Hallelujah.
You see how fast this is manifesting?
It's done.
It's a done deal.
But we didn't do it. We didn't do it. We're just here to make sure it happens.
We're just connecting some dots here.
I think we're feeding the people.
We're feeding the people. All the people. And we're going to
everyone, regardless of their race or their color or where they go to church, or even if they don't care. Doesn't matter. They get to eat anyways. All right? Dal and rice for everyone. It sounds like a chicken in every pot, right? You heard that before.
No, it's going to be super stew in every pot. And Babaji,
I'll cook it.
Well, we're going to need a lot of cooks. But anyway, what's going to happen is we're going to announce this with a press conference. We need to line up the right truck, right? And we'll just work on that.
I've got the plan. I got the whole plan. All I need is just somebody to listen to me. I'm willing to give pins out to everybody so that they'll have something to write me in with. I'm not going to get on the list with voters. I'm never going to go through the system. I'm not even calling it a political rally. I'm calling it a revolution. And this is like time for everybody to realize that it could happen. All you have to do is believe in it. Dream with me, peace on earth, heaven here and now. And that's it. This is our turn and this is our time. Thank you, sister. I'm giving your hearts back to you. If you guys support this insanity, we're going to live in peace forever. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. Well, you heard it from the next president of the United States. So, it really will be a revolution because the Declaration of Independence was no joke. My great uncle and his colleagues, they were signing their own death warrants. They were taking on, directly challenging the biggest empire in the world, the British Empire.
I'm
right?
taking on the Illuminati.
We're going to take them all on, brother.
I'm going to be the boss. I got more witchcraft than they do, man. We're going to do it. Woo!
There's no doubt.
I think it's done. I love you. I'm just going to go away because I can't handle it anymore. Bye.
No, love you.
Hey, get my number and call me or something, man. We're on a roll.
Okay. We're rolling. All right. You stick around any longer, I'm going to serenade you again. Anyway, I actually sang him this beautiful song earlier. Anyway, so here's the deal. It's going to be a declaration of interdependence from hunger. I'll put my family name on the line, and it will be a revolution, an American revolution of all the Americas, including Mexico. Haven't forgotten about you, Jimena. No, go, Jimena. We want to hear from you.
I wanted to kick off because I have a thing
wait,
to do.
One more thing, please. One more thing.
Yeah.
You said it. No, wait. I'll go away. I promise I will. But listen, you said America. I want to open the borders from Alaska to Argentina, and that's it. And there's going to be one country, one nation, in love, under God, undivided, with liberty and justice for everyone. Let's do it.
That's it. And there's a very special former Mexican president who I'll introduce in due course. But back to you, Jimena.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the interruption. Bye.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I just kick off for an hour, but I have you all present in my mind and I wanted to be in the party. I commit. I have already a committee of the Fundación Mexicana de Sanación Pránica. We've been feeding people from Hospital Siglo XXI, people going under cancer condition. We are a very big group. We've been doing this for 10 years. I commit. I know the direct people, no, the direct person who made zero hunger law in Mexico. It was not an inalienable right, and she found it out to make it true in my constitution. So I commit. I am in. Whatever you need, Mexico is in. So count on me.
Sailesh, you heard that. Jimena, sister, hermana, te quiero. Muchísimas gracias, hermana. Gracias.
Quiero.
Gracias a Mexico. Viva
I'm going
Mexico.
to. I need to go. I love you all.
Love
See
you,
you
Jimena.
soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye
so
bye. Bye bye. Love, blessings. Stay safe.
Oh, goodness. This is it. Sailesh, this has already gone international. It started in Tempe, jumped down to Tucson. Boom. Next thing you know, it's across the border. Boom. Next thing you know, it's up in Canada. We got all of NAFTA covered in like 30 minutes. What's next? Europe,
Yeah.
Europe, Africa, Australia. There's no end to this. There's no end to, and you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I got to just tell you this from my own past. When I first heard about veganism, I thought, oh my God, forget that's crazy. My muscles would shrink, my brain would shrink, my beep would shrink, everything's gonna shrink, and I'm just gonna be like one of these emaciated, washed up hippies holding a tin cup asking for spare change. No, that's not for me. I need my protein. I'm just telling you what like just an average stupid American thinks when they hear vegan. It's just like, that's ridiculous, right? Listen to this. If you put the food in front of them, right, what's it going to do? Bite you? No, it's going to be the last thing to bite you because it's made of plants, not animals, right? There's nothing in here that hates you. There's nothing in here that's afraid of you, right? It's all love and protein and goodness. So eat up, and it's delicious. And they'll like, what am I still going to be able to have kids after I eat this? You know, come on. And guess what? We get to play with it. We get to have fun with it because you know what? People need some fun and lightness around this. The universal stew, it's going to become a thing. Everyone's going to get behind it, which means everyone's got to eat it. And when they eat it, they're going to say, really? This is all vegan? This is vegan? I thought vegan was like, I don't know, dried up twigs or something like that, you know, mashed up with arsenic. I mean, I'm just telling you where people are at, where they're coming from is just, Nadira, you were talking about this earlier, right? You know, I mean, it's like, people just have stupid ideas about veganism, right? So let's make it fun and playful. Bottom line, we're going to feed the world, and it's going to be plant-based, and it's a done deal. And here we go. And we're starting in Tempe, Tucson, Mexico City. Did I hear Toronto? You know, Seattle. Look, we're just going to go crazy with it. It's going to be such a simple model, and it's going to be completely open source. Nothing centralized about this, totally decentralized. Every community. Christopher, did I hear Canada? Do I hear Canada? Canada's in. Look at this, Sailesh. We already got all of North America. Central America, oh my goodness. Listen, all the violence and suffering and everything, migration out of Central America, we're going to bring the food to them. It's as simple as that. The world now has a mandate. We're feeding everyone, and we're bringing the food to you, so you don't even have to leave your home. And with this, we stop the spread of COVID in 3 important ways, right? A, you don't have to leave your house. The main reason people leave their homes is either to get food or to get the money to buy food. So A, you don't have to leave your house. B, it's immune boosting. And C, we get the cosmic, universal convergence, unity of everyone eating together and everyone eating the same thing. Who can say no to this? We bring the world together, and as we're all chowing down, and everyone's just like getting ready to dance and party, we're going to say, okay, everyone sit down, please. Don't go party just yet. We got an important message. Now that we're all together, now that we're all eating, it's time to cool the planet. It's time to do SRM. And here to give you more information on the problem is Professor Guy McPherson, and solution is Dr. Yatow of Harvard. Gentlemen, and that's it. We feed everyone, we cool the planet. Is that going to solve all of our problems, Ray? No, of course not. But by taking out the top two, actually top three, we end hunger, we cool the planet, and we go plant-based. We stop the carnage.
Got to stop the wars.
We stop the wars. Well, we stop the violence, you'll stop the wars.
Well,
You got to stop the war in your own kitchen before you can stop the war in Afghanistan.
They're making money on the wars, body bags and bombs. We got to stop the wars. That's it. It's a bad thing. We just have to love each other. I want to bring the soldiers home. I'm serious. If I'm the commander in chief, I promise they could just come home and be with their kids. That's it. And for the working people, 4 days a week, only 4 hours daily. And that's it. And for school, I'll pay the kids to go to school. Then they'll get educated, not only free, but they'll have a nest egg to come home to. Come on, I've worked 50 years on this. I'm ready to go.
Babaji, you've got my vote. Just make me Secretary of Food, and we're in business.
Secretary of Food, no problem. I was thinking health and welfare. Are you ready for that?
I'll take that too. You know what? I want to give that to Kelly. I think she's Canadian. Well, you know what? We'll just acquire Canada.
No, there's
we'll annex Canada. 54th state. You're America's apple pie now, Kelly and Ray.
No borders. We have to not make Canada, but we will extend our borders. We call it a annexation. We want to annex ourselves all the way to Argentina with their permission. And they did it in Persia. The Persian Empire was like that. This guy Darius just gave welfare to everybody, and they quit fighting, and they all lived happily until the Moors came by. But I don't know. I don't want to blame anybody. But let's just be happy and feed everybody and have fun and dance and sing and get educated and stay busy making the planet a safe place for women and children. Do I get your vote?
You got my vote, brother. Babaji for president.
No. It has to be Jesus because.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nobody knows Babaji. So
okay, Jesus Christ for president.
Yes. Okay.
And
then you could call me whatever you want, but I have to go with that name because it's in the book. The book said that Jesus would be called Eternal Father. That's Sanatan Babaji. Get it? The whole thing's been fixed. I didn't write the book. You did. It's a Jewish story. I just love you, and I better leave. If you want me back, you're going to have to ask me because I don't want to impose.
Babaji, I serenaded you earlier today.
You did.
And the song was called Welcome Back. What more do you need?
No, but we got all these other people here too. I mean, you and I, we're cool, but what about these guys? Are they okay with it?
For you or something? But
No, I just beyond myself. I cannot, they keep telling me to shut up. Man, if I shut up, I don't know, the world might end.
Well, look, soon we're going to be 24/7 here. And you know what, Babaji? I would like for there to be a dedicated room called Jesus Christ for President, and you can go 24/7 if you want.
That was my dream.
Huh?
My dream, brother.
Well, you know what? We can do it right now. Who would like to follow Babaji right now to a breakout room and just go off with Babaji about Jesus Christ for President?
That's all right. I'm used to being alone.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what.
No, we'll set this up. You can be the campaign manager. Give me my own room and everybody. All I want is, how do you call it? You have to direct the flow. You have to get the people to come there. I'm there. I'll be waiting, but you have to somehow marketing, right? Get the people to realize that they can have the fun time of their life just listening to this guy. And there's more to it than that. I will deliver.
Babaji,
if I tell you I'm going to do something, it will be done.
My mom's calling. I got to take this.
Oh, that's good. That's a good excuse. It's usually the wife. Come on, I'm not going to take it from here. One of you people pick it up. How about you, climate healer? Come on, why don't you do it? Good, thank you.
Sure. I also, I don't know if Daniel is listening. I wanted to tell him that you don't have to feed everyone in Tempe. You have to feed everyone who's hungry in Tempe. There's a difference, right?
I don't eat if I'm not hungry.
Hmm?
I wouldn't eat if I'm not hungry.
Right.
You eat when you're not hungry, you get fat. I can't afford that. We just sit
Right.
once a day, only once a day, and never before 12. That's it. You know, at 12 o'clock noon, everybody can eat when the sun is full, and that's it. We'll eat, fill our bellies, and go back to work. And if that doesn't work, we'll eat twice. But I think once a day should be enough. Eat as much as you can, as long as it's good for you. Beans and rice, and maybe some bread, and naturally a beverage. The Hare Krishnas feed every Sunday in America, and that's how I got reeled in. I became this guy who I am today because I was going after the free food. How about that? It brought me all the way to India. I had the best time of my life, and I'm still high. I never came down, and I never will. So, hey, I see Marco. Hello, Marco. I love that beard.
Hi, Babaji.
We haven't met. It's nice to see you.
We are just now,
Yes.
and I've seen you with Mark.
Oh, you have?
The first night when you wandered over there to Ojai.
Yeah, you know, I was in Ojai in 1974, and I opened a temple. I had the first Hindu temple in Ventura County. So I have a history. And guess what? Here's the best thing. During the testing of the cruise missile in 1984, I was in charge of the communications equipment on Santa Cruz Island. So I'm no kook, brother. I'm like, wow, I can't even believe I'm here. Go. Did you catch that? I mean, I was a GS-11 with the United States government, DOD. I've been 10 years serving the government, and now I want to spend the rest of my life serving you.
Awesome. Yeah, I did a little bit of a federal government stint. I'm not really interested in talking about right now. Another time.
Well, you know what, brother? I'm not going to say thank you for anything because that was our duty and we enjoyed doing it. People are dropping out. I think they don't want to hear me. So that's okay. I should just go take a shower.
It's not that they want to hear you at all, Bobby G. There's no problem with you, man. It's just that we have this section off for climate healers, so that's why Sailesh is giving more or less a talk. So we have to respect the guest speakers as well every now and again.
Yeah, well,
but there's no problem, man. You don't have to go nowhere. We just have to respect the guest speakers. So Sailesh is basically giving us a talk. So, you know, later on after he's finished talking, we can have all the questions and chat we want, then.
I don't know which one of you is talking right now, but you know, by all means, if this hour is donated to anything whatsoever, I just want to support it. And if I can support it with my silence, I'm very willing to do that. I'm not trying to crowd the space. I'm just full of the Holy Ghost.
Well, I understand that, man. And it's James that's speaking. There's no problem, Bobby G. I'm not saying anything derogatory. All I'm saying is that you're quite willing to speak. You're quite welcome to speak, as we all are. But we do have an unwritten rule that we respect the guest speakers during their visits. So yes. Sailesh is here to give us a talk on climate healers. So we'll have a chat with him for a while.
Which one is the guest? That's it. I'm gone. Who's
you don't have to go at all, man. You don't have to go at all. Just when Sailesh has finished his chat, we can all have a chat afterwards then about what he was talking about. And I'd like to take you up on going into your room, so maybe the next day, because it's nearly 4:30 a.m. here in Ireland now. So I'm probably going to go catch a few Zeds in another half hour anyway. But I'd definitely like to catch up with you another day in a room and have a chat with you, man. I think I'd enjoy a good conversation with you. But for now, I think we should give Sailesh a bit of space.
I see a name. I see John Man.
It's James Desmond.
James Desmond. Oh, hi, James. Now I see you. Listen, I love you, and I'm not trying to take anybody's space, believe me. I don't really need to address any of these issues, but if you want me to, I will always be available to you. That's all I want to say. I don't want to be, you know, these ET people who come to me, the first thing they say is, you know, we don't want to bother you. You know, you have to invite us and then maybe we can help. So I want to be like that guy. I don't want to be intruding on anyone ever. I don't want to be like that. I just want to be helpful.
Not at all, Bobby G. You're not intruding on anyone. You're just new to the platform here. And when I came here at first as well, I was new as well. And I think people found it very hard to shut me up as well. But now I've learned the ropes. So we have a chat after the guest speakers, then. So you're not doing anything wrong. You're just new to it. That's all. So hang in there, man. You'll pick it up as you go along.
Well, where's the guest speaker? I'm waiting.
Sailesh, I have a question.
Yes, Ray, go for it.
We'll talk about delivering food. Is that mostly the mode of deployment?
Yeah, that again is up to the organization how they want to do it. It could be because in the app it doesn't say you have to deliver, but the app just, you can describe what you're offering. And it could be that you offer that they come and pick up a box from you.
And you mentioned that it's to feed anybody who's hungry. The people who are in need, obviously, are the first and foremost to feed, but it's also a program by which people can participate, buy the food, and thereby, pay enough for 2 meals.
Right, yeah.
So that's a great way of developing community and make this something more than break that stigma of a food kitchen, of a soup kitchen kind of thing that some people would find, difficult to go to just because they feel that it's a test of their pride.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas something that's for the community, obviously there's much opportunity there for people to, check their own ego and find some humility and engage the community. And if we're finding opportunities to feed the community as a community, that idea of food being something that we get together around, however that looks under the post-COVID definition of our culture,
right,
we can make those into events. If we have a feeding tent, we set up a tent, we have the table set up with the suitable distance, and the serving method is safe, we can turn it into a cultural event and include entertainment. There's lots of out-of-work artists of varying kinds, especially musicians. This is, an opportunity to get together as a community and turn it into something far, more spectacular than a soup kitchen. Or, it doesn't have to be spectacular. It just has to engage those elements of some sort of an event that where people get together and have a sing-along or whatever, So there's so much different pieces that you can add to the palette for this to turn into something that grabs headlines and earns hearts.
Mm. Yeah, that's what Jamin was aiming at. Some kind of a stand saying that we are going to eradicate hunger in one city. Could be Tempe. Tempe is a relatively small city where you can make that stand and then help that spread. Because once it inspires people, they say, well, I want the same thing in Phoenix. I want the same thing in Mesa or whatever, or I want the same thing in New York City. So you can spread that around once you demonstrate it in one place.
And the delivery has a certain degree of functionality to it that if it works, it work like a charm and may not need to be improved upon. I'm just thinking of those situations where we might be able to have build events around it. It could be daily events. It's not like something that is something to put on the calendar. But it also gives a venue for people who want to share their gifts with the community. That could be performance, or it could be just sharing their art, making it into depending where the venue is, maybe even an art exhibit while you eat.
Right.
And activities for kids.
I think to chime in on the delivery, if I understand right, so we want to deliver to people. I think part of what could be very helpful is sort of pickup stations, so that we don't become like driving around the whole city, drive to everybody. That maybe even with some of the places that are closed now, I don't know how long that's going to be the case, but there's probably a lot of different places that have refrigeration that are not in use right now. I mean, but again, that's a huge collective effort.
Yeah, I hear you, Daniel, but I think it is worth doing, especially at this time when people are looking at refrigerated trucks to store bodies. That's what Tempe is talking about these days. And there are people, it's a very negative conversation that's happening now. So we want to build something new around, making sure that no one is going to be hungry in Tempe, or something like that, a statement like that, and then executing on it, okay, which is what Jamin is talking about.
And then people self-select. They select them, and we put the word out, and
right.
We have distribution places where they can come and where they can pick up the food, sort of like community dinner, but getting together. But again, even now, that is going to be, we have one situation where there's fridges in the garage, and people come, and they come independent from anybody, so they don't even have to see anybody, and they can use a glove. They can, make everything as clean as they wanted to make it, and just pick up the food, So I can imagine something like that.
I can see a problem already, though. When you bring like food into, see, I used to live with these hippies in the woods, and we had a food kitchen, and we feed everybody for free. And I would personally go out there and fill their bowls. So I've already been part of this program, and I know the food is like, you have to keep it under guard, like we have to guard the kitchen because people would want to come and take the food. So if you're going to put food together and take it somewhere, you're going to have to be really careful that you don't get robbed. You know what I mean? I mean, our hearts are in it. We want to serve the world, but there's a lot of people out there that are going to take the food from us and give it to their own tribe. So it's going to have to be security. And I would suggest that the food you work with shouldn't be refrigerated. You shouldn't have to need anything except a way to lock it down. We can feed rice, and I don't want rat shit. In India, they say that America gives free food, but by the time they get it, it's filled with rat feces. I don't think America would ever send rat feces to India. So somebody in between, some merchant, swapped out the food, right? And then USA gets a bad name. So let's make sure we secure this food. Nobody's talking about security, but that's really important. We can get plenty of it, but if it gets stolen, all we're going to do is be feeding somebody else's army. Am I okay with this? I don't want to be, like I said, I'm not trying to impose on you. I just want you to know what we're up against.
I think there are many different ways of going about it. And Wild Ass, which is a restaurant here in Phoenix, Keith is the name of one of the owner, and he's been pretty successful in serving soup. He gives out free soup, and from what I understand, he's been doing it monthly since COVID started. So he makes really large batches of soups and stews and puts them in containers, and he puts a sign out, and he does his social about it. So the community knows about it, and he's just offering to feed people in need. You know,
Oh no.
and I haven't heard of
Oh
anything that
no.
has come where people robbing. And because I also, I mean, Baba G, I agree with what you say, but I also feel like the community together will be more like a security system. That I everything everyone has brought to the table, I think, has been great ideas. I'm totally in. Um, and however my services can be used. I have 2 commercial kitchens. You know, I know community we have one, so we have the vegan restaurant owners who would more than happily, uh, donate their kitchen space or time or something to join in. If we're not able to secure one industrial space large enough for it, we can have several kitchens, commercial kitchens around the Phoenix area and take turns or do batch, half a batch at one location and half a batch at another in another vegan kitchen, and then figure out which area, we want to actually serve and feed. And it could be that the restaurants are actually doing, just as when we're open, because anyone that comes through my restaurant, if you don't have money or you're hungry, I'm feeding you anyway. So, and to make it a part of our marketing, to let the communities know that this is just another idea. I'm just putting it out there to let people know that if you know of someone that is in need, because the vegan community, I feel like here in Phoenix, we already do a lot of collaborating as far as trying to help each other and other families or animals that are in need. So if vegan restaurants and commercial kitchens are coming together to help service whatever community we choose, then it could be a rotation, or it could be 5 vegan communities in the kitchen in the Phoenix area are providing free meals for anyone that comes through that says that they need a meal, or setting out, because most restaurants have the storage bins, because that's exactly what Keith does. He uses bins and just fills them up with ice and puts tables outside with a sign. If you or someone that needs food, here it is. Please take what you need, but be cautious and aware that there are several families or whatever that's in the community that also needs assistance. But
Nadira, sister,
yeah.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I just need to let everybody know I need to run an errand.
Okay.
And but please carry on. Please carry on. And if it's okay with everyone, let's keep recording. Is everyone cool with that? Because we're making history here. We might as well do it in one take. I'll be back. I'll probably be gone 45 minutes or ish, and then I'll be back. And look forward to seeing you all in a bit, whoever's here. And great to see Emery. Welcome back, Emery. Welcome back, everyone. And so great to see everyone here and people putting in long hours. Jeff, you're a trooper. Thanks so much for being here. Christopher, yeah. Linda, Jackie, oh my goodness. Anyway, Nadira, I'm so sorry, sister. Carry on, and I'll see you all in a bit. Thanks so much. Love you all.
Love you too. Yeah, I think that again, if we're starting here in the Phoenix area, we have a group of chefs and kitchens that we could, hopefully readily have space available to make mass batches, even in Tucson. I mean, to be able to, to reach out to the vegan restaurant owners down there to see if they want to be involved. This is just another option. Since our plant-based and vegan community is, I feel, very strong here, and especially when it's community-based projects going on. I also really did like Ray's idea of incorporating events around um, serving people. So it's not like a kitchen, and it could just be a family fun day. And we're offering free food for families that are in need. So you're offering food. When people hear free food and family, you usually can get a nice group of people to come out, whether they're vegan or not. But again, if they're in need of meals and we're feeding them, and that we're saying is family or community event, we have their ears. They're open to whatever we want to present them with, so we can plant seeds. So I think I think everybody's ideas have been great. It's just, it might even just be a rotation of how we go about doing it to figure out what works best. Because we don't know yet, and you really don't know until you actually test the waters. And you gotta test the waters and see what works, how people respond, the type of numbers we get as far as actually feeding people and eradicating hunger. You know, um, I'm sure we could probably even get some people to actually volunteer time to deliver to people who can't get out to whatever community event or whatever soup location or stew location that we might have, because as everyone was talking, I'm just thinking about all the meal service uh, uh, plans and programs that are already, just like Meals on Wheels. That is totally community based and volunteers who do most of the work for that program to exist, to be able to serve seniors food. And that, because that's something else, because that food that they give to those seniors is not nourishing. It's usually stuff that's not good. But yeah, I think that if we can just come up with a rotation and maybe start with 4 restaurant or commercial kitchens in the Phoenix area, since we want to start with Tempe. And I have no problem working with any chef or any person to develop a recipe for the stew. Um, you know, uh, so getting like minds together to be creative to serve the community is what we are about, and what every vegan restaurant owner that I know is about. So I think that if we put a call out, they will come, and we'll have the kitchens that we need, the space that we need. We'll have what we need. It's just figuring out how to do it and just being open to trying different things to get it out to the community, and whichever is, as we go through trial and error, you figure out what the most simplistic way is, and then that's what we stick with to grow from there. Um, but there's no, I don't work with things in stone, just because I know, especially when you're going into a new project where you haven't done it and you don't have the experience in it yet. You got to test the waters and see how it works, see how it goes, see how people respond to it, and then take that data that you collect and be able to really structure something that will work for the all. So smooth running ship after you figure out how to really get it going. So those are my thoughts.
That's awesome, Nadira. Thank you so much. I think you are the right person at the right time for making this happen. Because I'm talking to 400 families in the Tempe area who are Native American, so Navajo families, and their children are going to this particular school. And so that school is collecting for food for them, because they're all in the food insecure area right now, because they don't have jobs. You know what's going on with the COVID-19 situation in the Tempe area. So I'm working with them, and we're trying to make boxes for them. And so this is like, we need to do something more permanent than just giving them a box once a month. So that's how it all started. And yeah, let's get it going in Tempe. Let's get these families healthy and eating healthy food, and then let's sort out all the problems that will come along the way. So yeah, we are. So that's. I mean, I'm glad that Jamin is pushing for this one. A place where we can show this, demonstrate that it works, and sort out all the problems there, and then figure out how to expand it out for the rest of the world, right? And so thank you for all your great ideas. And I was going to put out my granddaughter's favorite stew recipe, because K-Mama is her name. That's the name of the app that we're building, and so I'll send you the recipe for her favorite stew, and then we can work from that.
Please do. I would love that. I love your granddaughter, by the way. She's just a beautiful soul.
I know. She loves you too. And we love you too,
I want to say something again. Is it okay?
Yeah, please.
All right. Like I said, I'm familiar with this. I've been living in the woods with as many as 10,000 people. You don't believe that, but it's true. 10,000 people. And we fed every one of them 3 times a day. And that's like a miracle. But so I already have this thing. It's happening here for me. And I would just like to extend that to you. Whatever I've learned, I want to help you with. We have what we call a community kitchen, and they do all the cooking, and they bring the food out to the crowd, and the crowd sits in a circle. And we walk around in between everybody, and we feed their bowls. They bring their own bowls, and we cook. We might have 5 or 6 different kitchens, and all the kitchens donate something to the community kitchen, because people could still eat separately if they like. But it's a wonderful feeling to see the smiles on their faces when they show up for food. So we should document it. That's the whole thing, has to be documented so that the world can see what we're doing, and they will support it, and it will catch on like a wildfire, and there will be hunger ever again on this planet. So help me God, because those of us that care are going to do something. The efforts that we spend on war, the wasted money that goes on bombs and bullets and body bags, that could be rice and beans for everybody. So we have to stop the war. We have to feed the people. And the next thing is housing and clothes and medical facilities for everyone. And then after that's done, education. So this is just the beginning. Let's do it. Oh, I mean, when I say let's do it, that means we have to do it. We can't just talk about this. This has to be done. First of all, we have to collect money. And second of all, we have to get a really good deal on the food. And third, we have to have it delivered. So these are really important features. The Army can do it. We can do it. Feed the people. That could be our thing. Just simple as that. It doesn't have to be community food. Community stew. It could be just feed the people. Feedthepeople.com. Send your money. We'll see that they're fed, and we'll photograph the whole thing and send it back to you every day so that you can see your money is going to a good place. I'm not one to organize it, but I'm the one that will stand up on the box and shout loud that it needs to be done, and I want to see it. Thank you, and I'll cook and deliver the food myself if I have to. I just made a $50 contribution, but I don't know who to send the money to. If they'll take Visa, I'll give you my numbers. But this is just the beginning. I swear, this is a movement that you've been waiting for. We are the change. These other people promised us change, but there hasn't been any. So now we're going to change it ourselves. This is not going to be an election in November. This is going to be a revolution. Stand behind me. Just write my name. That's all you have to do. JESUSCHRIST. Let's see what they can do with it. If America is a place where nobody can come all the way to the top with nothing, right? They say that you don't have to have money to be the president of the United States. Well, let's prove it, because I don't have any. I'm tired of looking at these billionaires talking about what they're going to do for us when they've never been where we are and they haven't got a clue. Not a one of them. They don't know what it's like to be hungry. So let's do it. The people's president. That's all. I'm asking for support. If we could supply the pen, they can write it in. And I'll even teach them how to spell, you know? But whatever we have to do. And I didn't think about this. This is something that came from the other side. This is what happens when you like do too much meditation, maybe, okay? Because they are in me, as me, and they want to get it done, and they know that we can do it, and they're here to help. So let's just, they used to call it pray, you know? Let's pray for it. No, wait for it. That's all we can do. It's going to be done automatically, and we're just going to watch it happen, and we're going to know that we here today inspired that, because I'm so happy that Climate Healers is up here talking about food, and he wanted to feed his own village, and it came to the point where we wanted to feed more, and now we're going to feed all. So let's not let him down. Mr. Climate Healers, what's your real name? I can't hear you. You're muted. Come on.
It's Sailesh Rao.
Silas.
Yeah.
And the last name?
Rao. R-A-O. I'll change my name on.
I'm so happy that you're here today. And man, food first, and then we have clothing, and then we have shelter, right? Even if it has to be tents. Nobody should be homeless. And then we have to have land so they can be sleeping on the ground without being disturbed by the police. So we're going to do it, because I've been there. I've been homeless in 3 different countries. So now I don't want to see anybody homeless anywhere, or hungry, or without clothing, or without medicine, right? And I'm not a socialist. No, I have nothing to do with politics. I just have a heart, and I love everybody, and I want them to be able to sleep at night. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I'm crying again. That's why I'm not on video. It'd be a pathetic sight. Marco. Thank you.
Yep.
Ray Kowalczuk, I love you. Christopher, I love the blue, brother. And the hat is cool. IMRE. I'm Ray. Nadia, thank you. Solomon, Jackie, oh my God, what a family. And this is just beginning. And I don't want to intrude, like I said, we'll have my own little place and you can come and visit me. I already have one. I have a Zoom, but nobody came because I don't know anybody. And I have to email each of you and invite you, and you can invite your friends, and we'll just fill the room and we'll just do it. And I'll be here for you 24/7 if I can. And if not, I think whenever I'm not available to you, I think I'll show you movies that inspired me, the movies that made me realize that we are one. And that would be entertainment, unless somebody else wants to host my show when I'm not home. So we can work together, and I don't want to be boring. I don't want to be boring. I just want to be serving. That's it. Because I find joy in service. When I serve others, that's what brings me the happiness. And I'm a Babaji, and Babajis know that service is the way to God. Seva, we call it seva. And every ashram knows that the only way you'll ever get enlightened is by cleaning the toilets and cooking in the kitchen and serving food and just being of service to everyone. And that's the only way you're going to get enlightened, because enlightenment means we are one. And you have to earn your way to that understanding. And by taking care of others, others will take care of you. And then one day it gets obvious. You just go, wow, we have a family, the family of man. And thank God for that. I'm going to go away again. Goodbye.
Somebody mentioned education is something that could happen while there was a get-together involving food. I've been just kind of noodling over that, trying to think of what that could mean. Jackie, you're part of the education and childhood parenting group in Vegan World 2026. How can we work community teaching into a food experience? Kind of interesting because we were talking about the amount of food that goes into schools. What if it was the other way around, to get school into the food?
Yeah, I think we got very distracted the past couple of months, and now it's time to bring the food healers and the parenting and education conversation back together. And that's what Jessica and I were talking about coincidentally this morning on how we need to get back. And it's amazing because Nadira in her segment was talking about her struggles with education and kind of like the social injustices that were manifesting in the education, which informs kind of like what we were doing. And I think it's a perfect way to marry kind of the food healers component about feeding everyone and the parenting and education. I think all three paradigms all go together. You can't separate them.
And I did attend a few of the meetings of the parenting and education, and talking about different forms of education where you get rid of the brick and mortar of the school, and you teach in a park. You teach in wherever the teaching needs to happen, in the most logical place. So if food becomes part of the paradigm, then teaching about food is obviously a very close to a very obvious thing to introduce into a feeding situation. And that's something that Kelly and I were talking about as well. But how do you embrace people with the vegan message about the ingredients that you use? Introduce them to cool things like nooch or calinamic salt. These. What do you do with vital wheat gluten? These things are. Got a capital nooch in the comments.
But it's true, and I think we need to start incorporating not so much a curriculum for the new education, but like what Sailesh was suggesting, that we need to create, sorry, let me just answer this. That we need to create kind of like a guide for education that includes creating climate healers in our children, right? So that when they graduate, they actually prepare for the world that we know is emerging, and stepping away from the world that we're trying to prepare children for, to maintain the world that exists. And food is at the core of that. Food and feeding everyone and health is at the core of that. So that's exactly what we're working on, a guide for, out of the brick and mortar, more of the self-guided education, more of the potential-driven education for our children, and how parents are there to support and guide and provide the resources and the environment for that self-actualization.
Hello? Hello? Somebody's trying to contact me. Is it you guys? This is, no, hang on. No, you be quiet for a minute, please. This is my wife on the phone, and I don't mean to be mean, but I'm trying to share this program with her, and I want to tell her how to get here, and then she'll join us. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And like right now, I'm talking to all these people that I love, and they love me, and it's wonderful. We're going to feed the world. We're just called it Feed the World Project, and we're not kidding. And I'm sure that a lot of people with money are going to help. And if it's just beans and rice, it won't matter. It won't matter what it is as long as it fills our belly, but we're going to go vegan. From what I can understand, please listen, lady. I can't talk to two people at once. Just listen. I'll get right back to you. Oh, she wants to talk to my son. So I'm going to give my phone back to my boy so his mother can talk to him. And then I'm still going to leave you guys because I better take a shower or something. But if you want me, listen, please write to me. I'm at SANATANABABAJI. You can see it right in front of you. Just put at Gmail and I'll get your letters. It's that simple. Sanatan Babaji. It means eternal father. And I'm so happy. I'm going to be your dad. I'm going to feed all my children, and you guys are going to help me do it if I have to cook it up myself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to get out of here. Bye. But if you need me, you know where I am. Oh, and you can have my phone number too. 559-337-2222. And I'll answer Well, I can't answer them all, but just leave a voicemail and I'll get back. Is that okay? And I'm trying to leave you, but my heart keeps bringing me back. So I'm going to try one more time. Namaste to everybody. And the mother wants the boy back, so I have to take the phone into the other room. And Marco, thanks. I'll take that. Namaste. And I love you, love you, love you. All of you. Goodbye, bye, bye. And come and visit me at my wall one day when I get my own. Oh, now that the mother thinks I'm talking to her. No, I'm not talking to you, sweetie. I'm talking to my friends, and I'm going to be with you in a minute. Bye. This is a hard thing to do. It's like juggling, you know. But, oh, I wish you could see this, you guys. She's still talking, but I can't even answer her because I'm busy right now. So I'm just going to go take care of my family business. And she gave me 3 of the most beautiful children in the world, so I have to be nice to her. And so if you catch me getting out of line, you make sure that I behave myself, okay? And I'm talking to my internet family right now. Sailesh Rao, thank you so much for that smile. Which country are you from? Oh, you're sorry.
India.
Yeah. Which country?
Originally India. I live in the US now.
Oh, you're in the US?
Yeah.
United States of America? Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Then you could vote for me. And if you can't, get somebody else to do it.
Sure.
Anyways, I'll get back with you guys later. I love you so much, but my son wants to speak with his mother, and I seem to be in the way. Yeah. And wow, think about whatever you would ask Jesus. If Jesus came into your life and you had a question for him, what would that be? Write it down, and the next time we meet, we'll do it all. That's all I really want to do is be here for you. And thank God it is. I didn't make this happen. I found this by mistake. This whole thing just happened by mistake for me because I didn't, you know what I mean? I don't know if you saw this, but we had something called a harmonic convergence, and it was my 3rd one. The first one I did in Joshua Tree. It's a desert in California, and it was a really big deal. And somebody took me there. I didn't even know how we got there and what we did, but it was wonderful. Whoops. And wow. Wait a minute. I'll be right back with you. Somehow okay, there you're back again. My TV or my screen went to somewhere else and it scared me. The second one was in Sedona, Arizona, which is like the new age capital of the world, right? And the third one was right here in Ojai. And I was been in Ojai my own self since 1974 to 1990. And so I was just coming home and I saw the mountains and I said, wow, that's Ojai. And I just packed up and went. And I walked in on Mark, right? You guys, if you were there, Mark, I just walked in on him and he was on the show and he introduced me to all these people. And that's how I got to know you. And so this is the beginning. Now you can know me. You can
Joe Montana.
I'm going to say goodbye. Bye, bye, bye. Go ahead.
Was the baseball started?
Old games.
Old games.
Yeah,
But they're starting pretty soon, I think. Yeah. I mean, you've been watching old NBA games?
Yeah.
Can you believe they're going to try to start all in one place like that? There's no way that can work.
Guess what? I'm back. Those people aren't talking about what
Is
we're
that
doing.
Jamin? Is that Peter?
Peter, yeah.
I'd mute him if I was the host. Who's the host? They can mute those people. Isn't it? You can mute
I was
me.
going to ask you for his help since he's the only host that can control the mute function.
Yeah, well, the host should mute me, and then you wouldn't have to listen to me anymore. Honest to God, I don't want to be just disturbing the party, and that's fine. And all I can say is that if you have any questions at all about health, I can handle it. Believe me, I'm trained for health and nutrition, and I'm 76 years old. I didn't tell you that. So I've been around the block, and I know our problems, and I want to solve them on a world level. Yeshua, keep quiet or close my door. That's my son, Yeshua, the real name for Jesus, right? And what was I going to say? Yeah, I'm going to start with America. I talked to the Dalai Lama. You know, the Dalai Lama is a pretty important guy. And I said, hey, man, we could have peace in Tibet. No, I didn't say that. I said,
hi, everybody. This is Jasmine. I'm sorry. I've been just kind of like in the background, just finishing up my day. And I'm not fishtailing tonight. So I like to be on video mute. Joke. But who is the host right now?
Sailesh.
Sorry, no.
Well, see, the real host stepped out and just left it
Can
up
you
to
hear
us.
me okay?
I'm not here.
Oh,
I have permission to be
no.
here. And so it's okay. Everything's fine unless these people don't like it. And then naturally I'll just leave. But nobody said anything so far, so we're just going with it. But what I wanted to say was that we can solve all the world's problems. All we have to do is work together. And our governments are not going to do it for us. We're going to have to do it. And so this is sort of the people finally have had enough of this government shit, and they're going to take it into their own hands, and they're going to do it peacefully. This is going to be a peaceful revolution. We're just going to get it done. We're going to see that everybody gets what they need. And that's food first. And then what? Clothing and shelter. And what do we say after that? Education, for sure. And jobs and something to do. And then we're going to share the resources of this world, and you're going to have heaven on earth. That's the plan. And that's not only my plan. All the people I'm talking to are saying the same thing. Heaven now. And if anybody doesn't like that, they're going to have to leave. How do you like that? I hope I don't get like, I don't want to be in trouble over any of this stuff. I'm trying to be nice, you know? And I'm starting with my own country. I said I was talking to the Dalai Lama, and I said, yes, peace on earth. He was here in Santa Barbara, and he was getting the Peace Prize. And I met him. He was in his limousine, and I put my hands together, and the window went down on his car, and I said, peace on earth, but let's start with Tibet. So if I told him to start with his country, then I'm going to start with mine. So if I can solve the problems in America and help you solve the problems in your own homes, we'll have peace. And I don't think anybody's trying to take over anything. I think we're just trying to be happy. Would anyone?
I agree with you there, Suzanta. I just noticed there Linda has her hand up there, Linda's iPhone. She's got her hand up that she wants to speak. It's just that we got to give other people a chance to talk, so you have to watch out for people's hands up if they need to speak. So, sorry for cutting you off there, no man, but you have to, Jamin's not here at the moment, so I think you're on co-host. So co-host usually gives people a chance to speak anyway for a while. So
I'm letting anybody say anything they want, brother. I'm not trying to take this over. James.
Oh, I'm not saying you are by any means, Satanta. You're new to this like I was, and when I was new to it, I actually interrupted Sailesh's climate healers talk as well, and Jamin had to put me straight. So we're all learning here, man. There's no problem. I'm only kind of guiding you in the right direction. We try to keep the talking down to when there's a good few in the room. We try to keep our what we have to say down to a minimum to give others a chance to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a conversation goes both ways. You know what I mean?
Man, just raise your hand, and I'll be glad to listen to you.
I'm just saying, in case you didn't spot it, Linda's iPhone, she has her hand raised. If she still wants to speak, that is. I'm not sure.
Oh, I see it. Linda, come on in, baby. I'm sorry.
No problem. You're grand, man. You're grand.
I didn't see it. I see it now.
You're an Iron Man, James. It's midnight in Toronto. You didn't get those Zeds. My wife was delighted when you said that you got to go get some Zeds. That's a commodity that we have in Canada as well. In the United States, they're called Z's. They don't know
We got a lot of familiars, both Canada and Ireland actually, because we got such close connections, I suppose. Definitely, yeah. It's 5:05 a.m. here now, and I still haven't got those Zeds yet. Like, but eventually I'll fall asleep. Santana is he's keeping me entertained as well. So by all means, Santana, or I keep getting your name mixed up, Abaji. By all means, don't think, by any means, I should say, don't think that I'm telling you to be quiet or that you're taking over the show or anything like that. I'm not. I'm just, as I said, I'm just guiding you in the right direction because you're new. And I don't like talking too long either myself anyway, because I did do that for a lot at the start of the show. Like. But I've learned we just give each other a chance to speak. There's no problem. I don't think Linda's even here anyway, so,
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are? Sorry, Linda. Carry on. Look, you've your hand up for a long time.
Linda,
Well,
that's what you want us to hear. I don't want to say anymore. Go for it.
Okay. Well, I'm delighted to be here. Hello, family. It's exciting to see the fires get lit in this way. Very heartwarming to me, and I think we are becoming the change that we've been waiting for. So it's an exciting journey, and more people, I think, will join in. I don't know if anyone else remembers, and I'm not even sure what year it happened. But does anyone remember Hands Across America? Hello?
Yes, I remember that.
Well, for me, that was something that I involved my children with, and it was a really profound experience in trying to create unity many years ago. You know, my children are grown now, but they still remember being a part of that. And this is so much bigger and so much more exciting, and I can't wait to see where we take it from here. So thanks for letting me share.
Thanks, Linda.
Hello. I see a friend of mine, Leroy. Hi, Leroy. I want to turn the show over to you. Would you take it from here, please? Because I need help. If you can be the host for now until our real host gets back, it would be great. I just want to watch you and hear what you have to do.
Well, I hear you, but what I'm doing is getting the real host here. So let's just pause for a moment. I'm working on getting Maya and Mark online. So just a minute. That's what I'm doing. That's much better than me being the host.
You know, Sailesh is here as well. He's actually the host for this section, for the Climate Healer section. So, you know, well, good. Whichever you want to do, I'm not sure where Sailesh is gone. I can only see 4 people at the moment anyway.
Okay. Let me see what he wants. Hold on a second.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys. This is Peter. So just checking in to see what's going on.
Hold on a second.
Well, I'm just turning it back over to you. I was his co-host because that was officially my job, and I was getting a few complaints here, and I don't know why, but maybe I don't know how to run a show. So let's see what you can do. Thank you, Jamin. I mean, you're not really Jamin, you're Peter. Thanks, Peter, and good luck. I'll just listen in and see how well you do.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, and thank you for your passion. And we're all in this together, and we've kind of added a whole new group in the last week here with the folks from the Harmonic Convergence, and so we have a converging of energies here, where I know that there were scheduled programs on the collective intelligence block, and now we're bringing in some folks who come through us through the Harmonic Convergence. And I know that Mark from the Harmonic Convergence is starting to do a meditation on his Facebook page right now, and so they wanted us to share that with folks who might prefer to choose that in this moment. And that's part of our hub here, is to give people choices to what they want to do. So
I'll go to Mark's page.
So on Mark Sims' Facebook page, he's doing a meditation. If you feel like that's what you want to do with this time window, then please go ahead. And if you want to stay here, then I'll just touch base with what was going on before. Do I understand correctly? This is Sailesh's time, but now Sailesh is not here right now. Is that what's happening?
I just took a peek at the schedule. Yeah, at 9 p.m. Pacific, it switches over to the conversation from food healers.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I don't have, what time is it right now?
Yeah.
12 after 9.
Oh, okay.
You're the host.
Great. Okay. All good. So now it's becoming the conversation and not the food healers, and that's why Sailesh is gone. And so we open up into a new world, and I see several people who've been along for the conversation with the harmonic convergence, and it's Christopher and Marco, and I saw Dana earlier. So we just move into we turn the page and we open a new chapter, and here all of us are in the lobby bar, seeing what shows up. And so what has showed up is that Mark is doing the meditation on his Facebook page. I'm not certain, and I'm on my phone, I'm not certain how we plug that into this if we wanted to do that, but I think that the main purpose here of the conversation as we add more people with more ideas is that we could go to different breakout rooms for different specific conversations, and or just like here, hey guys, if you want to do Mark's CE6 meditation, please go to Mark's Facebook page and come back and see us when you're done. If you want, we're going to go all night long. And so then we open up to who wants to talk about what, or maybe who hasn't shared in a while that has something to share. And we look for raising of hands.
I want to go to Mark's place. So if you type it up, where I go, I'll be gone.
Great. So I'll put it in the chat. I'll put the link in the chat here for everyone. There it is. There's Mark's Facebook in the chat. I'm not sure how we do both, Christopher. So for now, somebody's talking that's not muted. So let's see who that is. So you get to Adele, you get to the meditation by going to the Facebook page there.
James?
I found it, so I'm going to say goodbye. I love all of you. It's been a lot of fun.
All right.
I certainly hope I was behaving myself.
No, you were wonderful. You were passionate, and it's all good, brother. See you next time.
Oh, forever. Just invite me and I'll show, okay? Thanks. Goodbye.
Very good. Okay.
Jamin?
Who's trying to reach me? Well, this is Peter with Jamin's name.
Oh, hi, Peter. It's Leroy. First, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for jumping in and helping moderate. And I did walk in another room where I happened to be where Mark is. I walked into the room and I explained to him what was happening, and he said that he wanted to stick with what he was doing to the Facebook page. So I don't think anyone should hesitate if they want to go over there and follow that. So no offense, this will happen again, but he's just not available right now. And I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. Yeah, Maya called me and said and asked, what we had going on and shit, but he wanted to, and I told her we had the blended thing happening tonight, and she asked me to just post that and say if anybody wants meditation. So perfect. Good work, Leroy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to, to communicate. I've got to go, and I want to acknowledge you for standing up and covering for everybody. Thank you so much.
Very good. We're figuring it out. Thanks for your help.
And by the way, we are working vigorously to regularize all of this, so it's a regular place and a regular night, and everybody can plan. We've been going, frankly, just as strong since the convergence as we were during it, working on trying to figure out a transition that we were able to really support the community that's shown up. So it's going to get more regular and more organized quickly. Okay.
Yes, it sure will. It's self-organizing, and we're getting a bunch of people to host, and it looks like we're going to have another conference in a couple of weeks, a near-death experience conference. Cool. Looks like they want us to do after parties, so we'll have a whole nother topic of people to break out into rooms with. So thank you all for your help.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye. Okay, so what's the burning share that's happening here? Who wants to chime in? Danny, go ahead.
Hi, dear. Are you rested yet?
I am rested and had a beautiful
awesome.
day, and got to hang out by the lake a little bit, and yes.
Good. I wondered if we should, and I'm just saying we as part of the community, maybe have, like, before people join, is there a way to get everybody to kind of subscribe to ground rules, such as muting themselves, raising hands and waiting to speak, you know, things like that, just to keep it a little more organized and respect everybody's opportunity to speak. Is there something like that in the work?
Yeah, so I know Jamin's been working on that, and Jamin has obviously been running the block party here for 20 weeks or whatever it is. And so, yeah, there's some melding here, and we're going to always get new people, and we're going to have to perfect, you know, putting, whether it's having people start in the waiting room and going over there and talking to them, or having the rules stated real clearly in the chat every 5 minutes. You know, it's going to be a learning experience, and we just have to, well, we caught a situation here where I guess Jamin stepped away for a little bit, so nobody was able to really mute when they needed to mute or interject. And people are going to be excited. People are really thrilled to get the chance to share and be heard. And so we're gonna have people like that last gentleman who are just totally turned on, and we get to learn how to do that effectively with each other, and interrupt without being rude, and just honoring people's passions and taking to the next step.
Right on. Yeah, right on. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Adele, did you want to speak next? Is that what I saw? Somebody in the chat. Oh, Linda.
I can't actually raise my hand, Peter, because I've been made co-host earlier. But if you want to take me off co-host there now, because I'm going to get some sleep. It's 5:30 here in the morning. But I'd just like to say there to Babaji, I'm sorry if he thinks that I was, you know, annoyed with him or anything when I was trying to explain to him that, you know, there's no problem. He's new to it, and like you said, and he's not aware. We have, as Jamin has, the unwritten rules, or we put our hands up when we want to speak using the either on camera or the hand app, and we try to keep the talking down to a couple of minutes if there's a lot of people here, to give others a chance. I was only trying to explain that to him, but I understand he's excited and everything else. I'd love to have a chat with him tomorrow when I wake up and go into his room. He wants to have a room of his own tomorrow, so we can do that with him, and I can have a chat with him tomorrow. But for now, I'm going to say good night, and God bless to all of you. And I'm really sorry if Babaji thinks that I was being rude or anything.
Oh, he's in the chat right now. He's still on the chat saying, "No problem, brothers. Not offended. Everything's good." So
no problem. All right, that's good. And God bless, and I'll talk to you all soon. And thanks, Christopher, for your compliments, man. And nice talking to you all anyway. And I'll see you all in the morning. God bless.
Good night, James.
God bless.
All right, who's next? Oops, let's lower some hands there. Christopher, you've been on a lot, brother. How's it going? All right, Marco, are you there? I saw your face a little bit.
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome, buddy.
Yep,
How you doing?
I'm doing better now. Got my air conditioner replaced, and I'm learning to take my breaks. I've been up so much, you know, since Convergence started, and my feet kind of were really hurting yesterday, but I was kind of ignoring them because I wanted to keep going. And then finally I said, yeah, I got to wash my feet. I haven't washed them in a couple days. I took my socks off. My feet looked like parade balloons. They were so swollen. My toes barely showed out. So I spent took me 10 hours of exercising with my feet above my heart to get the fluid out. So I got to watch how long I sit.
Oh yeah. No,
but I was just too excited with everything, you know.
Yeah, you know, but you make a really good point. You know, they talk about that when people go on long flights and different things. And some of us folks, myself too, I have some neuropathy stuff, and it's important that we invite people to get up and move around or press their legs against the ground or you know, with this Zoom world we find ourselves in, that it's really important that we remind each other to get up and to drink water and to, you know, have some movement of our arms and make sure we get some energy moving around. And because it's fascinating, and well, as so many of us have felt, you find yourself sitting there and it's like, oh my God, 6 hours just went by. And so Marco, I made you the host, and Jamin said he was going to come back here pretty soon. And so I will hand it to your trusty hands, and you're understanding what's happening a little bit here is we got some harmonic convergence people blending with the block party, and so we're learning to blend.
Yep. We had quite a blend last night. We went just about everywhere, from near death to you know, alien encounters. So
nice. Hey, so Santana, buddy, there's no problem at all. It's just us all learning. Okay, buddy? We're all just learning, and there's not a problem at all. It's just we got to learn how to work together and how to move and jive. And yes, you were one of the hosts, so you have the right to follow your passion that way. But one of the key things for hosts too is that we look to make everyone welcome, and that we slow down to watch when new people come on, and that we welcome new people when they come on. It's really the most important part of the way we're doing it now, is that we've got to onboard people. We got to help them when they come on and stop the conversation and welcome somebody and then continue the conversation, or look for other people to chime in with what's moving through them right there. And so that's all we're saying, is let's just keep a close eye for that. Appreciate you stepping in and with all your passion, Santana, and look forward to coming more. We're definitely, one of our main tracks is this Feed the World and the Vegan Collective Intelligence. And so everybody who's tuned into that, it's great. We need it. We're doing it. And so keep your passion. Just let this night go by. We're all learning, and keep carrying the love, brother.
absolutely, we love you, Baba G. I find I get carried away and I forget to pay attention to, you know, you either pay attention to the screen or the chat, and you get lost in one or the other, and more than a few minutes go by sometimes before you realize people have hands up. So it's definitely a learning experience.
Yeah. All right, so take it away, Marco. I'm going to get the rest of the night off and be ready for tomorrow. Thank you so much for your help, and away we go.
Okay. Thanks, Peter. Get some rest.
Yep, blessings.
Hi, Peter.
So let's see who all we have here. Okay, first hand up gets to change the subject. Take us somewhere new or old, doesn't matter. First hand up, or just whoever unmutes first. Go for it.
I think Jasmine had something to share.
Jasmine, are you there? Hey, Stoney.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hey, so Mark is on Facebook right now. I thought maybe this was a link to the Zoom aspect of it, but he's on his Facebook right now. We're about to Hugh. So
yeah, no, we're keeping them separate tonight. Mark wanted to just deal with his Facebook page.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I'll be back later.
Okay.
I love you guys. Take care.
Love you too. Hey, so how are you tonight? Sounds like a lot of people are taking a break right now, maybe.
Well, I'm not.
Linda, what's going on?
Oh, I'm looking at the beautiful sky in Sedona. Feeling very blessed.
Have an active sky again tonight?
We have an active sky every night. One of these days, I'm going to figure out this camera and be able to share that.
All right. Good night, Danny. And we'll see you after, Christopher.
I tried to go to the meditation, but I couldn't get on, so I figured I was supposed to be here.
I wonder. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it's going. Did you want to go there? I can put the link back in the chat.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You know what? I'll just put it in for whoever might want it.
Well, Peter did a link, but it didn't work for me. So usually when that happens, I just accept that I'm where I'm supposed to be right now.
Yeah, I'll put it in. No, nobody's gonna see that. I put it private. Hold on. Can we do that, everyone? Yep, it does work. I checked it. So for anyone that needs that, there it is. And let's see who we got left. Doing the chat, doing the chat, doing the chat. How about Emery? How are you doing?
Hi, Marco. I'm fine. I'm from Montreal. Just sitting in, listening, waiting for Jamin to get back, and just observing for a while, listening.
Nothing particular to share at this point?
Not at this point, no.
Okay. Now,
Carry on.
Jeff, how are you doing?
Good. See me here. There. Got a little weird screen going on there. I'm here. That's my sunset from the night. I was just on the rooftop taking screenshots there, taking some shots of the sunset.
Yeah, was that you I saw earlier with like the headlamp on?
Oh yeah.
I love those things.
I've been doing no lights in the house. I just use no electricity and just do the battery operated headlamp for my getting around the house these days. So I find it makes me more focused too when I'm doing stuff at night. I'm only looking, tunnel vision.
Yeah.
How are you doing tonight?
Doing well. We do that, at night too. You get out, you get up out of bed to go to the bathroom. You don't need to brighten the whole house for everybody. And went outside one day, and neighbor came up to me and he says, "All right," he said, "I want to know what's this thing with the headlights. I understand, when you're going in and out your car, but I've been watching. I see you use them in your house all night long. What are you people doing in there?" I'm like, seriously? Mind your own business.
That's funny.
What the heck? What the heck are you doing?
Mine's got the red color too. So if you want to be really incognito, you put on the red and people can't see it from a distance.
Yeah, that's what I have too. The white and the red. It's the one I like the most. I can't. There's a couple different ones that are just not as cool as this brand that I can't remember the name of. Oh, Energizer. The Energizer brand. It has a really nice pivot. So
that's a good tilt on that one. I got mine free. It's a company called Vont, V-O-N-T. And if you join their Facebook group, they have, and their email list, they'll send you promos sometimes where you get it for free. They're just trying to build up their name on Amazon. So if you, they'll give it to you for free with a refund. I think they'll give you $5 if you give them a review. So you can actually get paid for your lamps. They give them, they come in 2-packs. So I busted one by dropping it, but otherwise they've been solid for free.
Cool. VONT. Remember that. And I see we have Lily. Welcome, Lily. How are you tonight?
Hi.
Hi, So.
How are you?
Did you have something to share, So?
Not really. It's really late here. Well, it's like the early morning.
What are you about? I'm Eastern time. You're probably about what, 4 or 5 o'clock?
Yeah, 5:30. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we are. 12:30, 5:30. So yeah, 5 hours ahead of East Coast. No, it's yeah. I saw you were on earlier today when I was trying to get my air conditioner installed, and I just was watching on the Twitch, kind of listening in while I did that. But Lily, are you there? Can you hear me? Would you have anything to share tonight? I see Deidre in the back. Hi, Deidre.
Hi, Marco. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. Finally got my new air conditioner today.
We had a rainy day today, so it was only 63 here.
Oh, that's nice. The coolest I got last night was I think it was 85. It was the coolest it got.
So what are you guys talking about tonight?
Actually, I'm searching for a topic. Either everybody's away from their screen because they're all black. Everybody I talk to is not responding pretty much. Those that do respond are just listening, and so we can go anywhere.
You get to choose, Deidre.
Jasmine.
So, well, wait till I show you this. Let me put on my camera. I'll
Okay.
show you a really cool thing. Okay. So my boss made me go into work today because with COVID-19, he's having me work from home. He left me a present. Can you see it? It's a jellyfish.
That's totally cool.
And so
It's an
I looked
alien.
Yeah, I looked it up, and what was cool about it, because I'm like, there has to be some synchronicity to this, right? And so when I looked it up, the jellyfish has 2 nervous systems. And what was interesting was they view their sense their surroundings different than any other animal on the planet. And they're like us, they're like conscious. So they have one nervous system that helps them connect, and they don't have a brain. They all connect into each other. So there was this whole really interesting article. I can post it in the chat on here, but it's this whole really interesting article about jellyfish and how they actually sense things and how they connect to each other.
Can you hold it a little higher?
Sure.
There, yeah, that's good. Cool. I love it. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Is that a real jellyfish?
I don't know if it might be. I don't know. It was just in a box. It didn't say in the box, but it's pretty. I just thought it was cool.
Is it glass or acrylic?
It's glass.
Glass. So then it's probably not a real jellyfish.
Yeah. Well, they poured it or whatever. I'm not sure. They had a mold. I don't think it's. So but it's kind of cool. It looks like a jellyfish in the ocean. But I just thought that was nice. So I can post it in there. But it was like really interesting that somebody asked them if they had a brain and if they were conscious. And then there was this whole article on Google about jellyfishes and their consciousness. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't imagine having two nervous systems, so I get nervous enough with one.
Another synchronicity about that, someone was just talking about today or yesterday, that exact same topic, the two nervous systems in the jellyfish. They're talking about it in a Zoom room.
So let me go in there and I can put that article in there for you guys. It was really interesting. Yeah, my boss had me go clean the office today and wanted me to do bookkeeping, but somehow he took all the different bank accounts, statements, and I have no clue what he did with them. So he had ordered new ones. So I only wound up cleaning the office and doing some accounting today. But other than that, I usually work from home because he's 70 and he's terrified of COVID-19.
Did we lose Jeff?
Looks like he's still here. He's just on mute.
Yep, I'm here.
I heard a big crash. I thought you went kaboom.
Crash. No, might have been an audio effect from Zoom. I don't know.
I like the way your background flashes. Yesterday you were flashing in and out, so it was really cool.
Yeah, it's tonight's sunset in San Diego.
Yeah, there was a conversation earlier in one of the Zoom rooms where I forget who was leading it, but he got a lot of people upset. This morning.
That would have been Michael.
A couple of people left, and I'm like, oh, it's not good.
Are we talking about the Elon Musk conversation?
No, it was before that. Somebody, the person, I forget the person's name, but he was going into the ego, but instead of proving, he kept saying he didn't have an ego, but he proved he did. I was sitting back and I was just chuckling, you know, but there were some people that got upset. I knew better than to jump in on that one.
Hi, everybody. It's Jasmine. Just really been processing through kind of chiming in different times and even like just trying to get the understanding, like that was a really nice explanation of like kind of like the ground rules, which I thought was really cool. And but then it's nice to have like some flexibility. So, you know, especially like with energy and just kind of like where people are at, like when they do chime in. So it's such an interesting experience, just kind of like feeling where people are at, which I think is really cool and overwhelming, but fascinating. And
yeah, that's what kind of happened. He was just throwing out so much information, it was overwhelming people. His energy was kind of really overwhelming. And
it's so interesting when topics, it's like the brain needs to process, like, and that's where I kind of was getting to with the nervous system, because it's like energy is so related to the nervous system, and then to like really understand like how the nervous system is on in all of these different animals on the planet. Like horses have very similar nervous systems to people,
Yes, they do.
humans. And that's fascinating. And so, you know, but then like the nervous system's also like attached to mental health, because the nervous system and the brain go together. And so, you know, like hearing the passion just rising and rising was amazing until it was like crash and burn. But then it was like reel it back in, because it's all just passion and energy in all these directions. And nobody's right or wrong in the situation, because it's all an experience.
Yeah,
and
it's just sometimes people can just, he was talking fast and there was so much information and people couldn't process. And that's why I just kind of sat back and didn't say anything. You know, I'm like, okay, it's okay. And I tried to think, I almost came up and said, you know what, we need to take a moment and pause and let this, but I didn't say it. I probably should have, before people started going out.
And is this like kind of like free form right now, like freestyle?
When is it not?
I know. Okay, good. Thank you. Universal permission.
You should have seen what we were doing earlier yesterday, like when all the girls were just on there. We were doing acupuncture and these pressure points, and she was showing us them on her chest, and we're like, wait till they watch these videos later, because we were pushing the pressure points just above her boobs. Then we were doing foot reflexology, but everybody was doing it, so it was funny.
That's amazing. And I think that's what's so interesting is like, in a way, like what was being said about like kind of being stationary, because like with Zoom, you have to be stationary. And like we've been in such a sedative society for so long, to then like have this jolt of like harmonic convergence, you know, and like not to be able to sleep because there's so much change going on. And but then to also like grasp it and to continue to trust and to know that it's constantly a wave crashing, but then it picks itself back up. So it's so interesting. I'm just processing so much. So thank you for letting me chime in.
I'm typing this thing in for you guys from the jellyfish. It was just really interesting. My son, I have an iPad. My boss doesn't right now want me to use my laptop too much. So my son got me a keyboard for my iPad, which is really cool. I can use a mouse with it, and I have the actual keyboard.
Yeah, the last couple of days there were times when people were kind of talking over each other, and Jamin said, we're going to use the talking stick, and then we're like, it's a little difficult to do over Zoom.
Well, you know, and like when we were doing it, people would raise their hand and we would just call the next person. But like what was going on earlier today, the people that were raising their hands weren't even being acknowledged. And then, you know, everybody else would just jump over.
I was there for some of that. When I was putting in the air conditioner, I was streaming it on Twitch, so I could hear but not interact. I think it was Sophie that was getting kind of overloaded. Yes, Yanji. I see your hand, Janji. Go ahead. Am I not unmuted? You can hear me, right, Deidre?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I wonder why Janji can't. I'll have to chat.
Hello. I'm sorry. I was stuck.
Oh, there you are.
I was trying. I was hearing you, and I'm trying to get back. So thank you for giving me this space. Hello, everybody. My name is Yanji.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And Marco, hello again. You know, and it's kind of nice to drop in once in a while. I'm out here in Kauai. Sunset is just about to happen, and I have a little bit of an update. There is another wonderful harmonic event coming up on July 24th through 28th, and it is called Harmonize Humanity. And what is amazing about this event is that they're actually going to have 2 in-person live secret location gatherings. And in Costa Rica and Northern California, and also are hosting a global summit during those 4 days. So it's kind of a little bit of different model of having like the musicians and having like a little audience and having, you know, and having that grounding element. And I am part of a movement that is called Humanitary. And Humanitary movement, we're linked into the core of the Harmonize Humanity event, where the Humanitary movement, what we do is either at events or people can do this themselves in their own backyards, is the Humanitary movement is about getting planted in the earth like a tree for about 20 minutes. Dig a hole, you step inside, decorate the hole with sacred items, put the earth back in, someone packs the soil, you can sway around, get watered, and breathe. And just stop. And just connect with the earth. And so what's beautiful with the Harmonize Humanity, one of the updates that I have is that not only are we having 2 live plantings broadcast simultaneously, we have also, the organizers have asked me and the rest of the movement, and they have actually joined the movement, is for us to launch a Humanitary challenge. And so what we're going to say in that challenge, the challenge has not been launched yet, it will be launched July 25th. What we will say to the world is we will say, like, actually I'll be saying it, I challenge you to make an impact in this world. And I challenge you to harmonize yourself with the earth. And I challenge you to become a tree for a little while and plant a tree in the hole that you were in. And I challenge you to plant others and plant more trees. And so that's the announcement. We just, those wording might not be exact, but that's the energy behind it. And I'm just so excited to be able to be working with such an amazing group of people that around, you know, and then it's going to dovetail into the 11 Days of Peace. I don't know if anyone has heard that that's one of the next big events coming up in September. And so the Humanitary Challenge will grow and grow and grow. And one of the organizers of the 11 Days of Peace had said, you know, we'd like to get a broadcast of a humanitarian planting for every day with a different theme. And we would like to see if we can get people in their backyards, you know, to join in. And so then I originally was like, no, you know, our instructions don't really contain that, you know, and anything like that. And but now that we have this challenge that we're launching, I had another meeting with them and said, no, absolutely, we will be. You planted the seed. Thank you so much. And honestly, folks, with the harmonic convergence being over, right when it ended, and right on the last day, when the organizers came up to me and said, we would like to launch this Humanitarian Challenge, the first thing that happened was I was like, no, because we need to get our funding together. We need to get our infrastructure together. We need to get the nonprofit license. We need to get our team together. There is no way that I'm doing, you know, like do a launch like that. And so that was the first reaction. And then the second reaction was like, well, these are members of our team already here that have inspiration. I should just get out of the way. And so this has led me down a trail of a complete ego death, meaning like, not that my ego's gone, but the ego that I was, that complete transformation so challenging, totally out of my comfort zone, completely like I was growing the movement slow, steady, appear once in a while, plant people, not this thing of like in a week we've got this launch going on with this challenge. So anyway, just wanted to give that, and I can put a link in for the Harmonize Humanity. And if anybody's more interested in getting instructions, let's say just to get planted yourself, it doesn't have to be part of the challenge. We have a Facebook group, and then I can meet you.
Humanitary.
I posted the link for the compassion games that he's talking about up in September. I posted that link right down there for you guys.
Right, and then we need the link to the Harmonize Humanity, because that was coming up, like that one is coming up right now.
Yeah,
And
the 25th.
then
I have that link because I got it in my email. I can post that
right,
for you.
and then the last link, I can find it, or you can find it. It's on Facebook. If you don't have the link even after this group meeting, it's very easy to find. Humanitarian Movement is a Facebook group, on Facebook, and you're welcome to join it. And so that is my little update for tonight, and I'm really grateful again for this space. It kind of like once in a while I get inspired to come, and it just like feels so good and welcoming, Marco, and what Peter was doing, and Dana, that I've never really been in a space that is like so welcoming, like meaning like if somebody has an idea or someone has something they want to talk about in their own lives, or something, that they were visited by someone or whatever. I think it's just a really wonderful space. So I want to thank you guys. I want to thank the space in general, the earth, the spirits that are guiding us. And so yes, aho.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate your energy too. And now, were you gonna get those links, Deidre?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull them up for you because I have it in my
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, we appreciate the update, Janji.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely new for me too, right? I mean, the update is basically coming through, like for me, like I can't even believe that it's happening. Like I'm like living, going like, what is going on? My entire life of my path, of the slow path, and the reason why it was a strategy, and the amount of self-care that I do in the world, and connect with everything and carry things. Everything is destroyed. My entire life is destroyed. It is gone. What I thought was my life and what I was doing does not exist anymore. And yes, it is so challenging. It is so challenging to feel those, like, just that whole energy, and being out of a comfort zone, and then at the same time, because there's this great need that wasn't there before, this great pressure in a sense, I'm having to call every person that I know to see if they can help. And now there's actually a team coming together much more than before. And the people, as I'm talking with, and anyone is welcome to join in if you have something you're feeling you want to contribute to this launch. Is that everyone that I'm talking to, as we're talking little group talks about what to do and social media and everything, I'm looking at people's faces and I'm just like, I am in such a new comfortable place. How wonderful is that, So yeah, it's just an amazing time to be alive, and our dreams are possible. And the humanity movement does represent a component to what all of us are doing, that has to do with the transformation of humanity, that has an ability to connect us with the Mother Earth, and that has an ability to also call in some of the greater forces when, in the next phase after this event, we start planting masses of celebrities and presidents of countries and corporate leaders and millionaires and billionaires, and get that whole ball rolling, because then we're really talking about making some earth changes for our humanities, or humanities changes in the way that we're managing our resources, and having hope in this world, that we're actually, actually the way I look at it is, we needed something that would knock us off of our path, that humanity's path of destruction, and the path that we were leading to was this robotic future, that we need to be knocked off that path, and we need to be reunited with the Mother Earth, so that we can grow our gardens and grow our strength, and grow that loving and sustainable future, instead of this discorded, disenfranchised future. So yeah, thank you again. And
Yep.
I'll love to chat again here sometime, and I'll listen for a little while, and then I've got to run to some more meetings.
Well,
Thank
you know,
you.
it's the same energy that seems to be going around everywhere. It's kind of like you were channeling Jamin just now. It's like, you know, let's do it. What are we waiting for? Now's the time. You know, it's
Yeah,
like.
so I was going to say they have those meetings every Saturday at 6 o'clock, and I posted the link. So tomorrow they're having, they're going over what happened with the harmonic convergence, kind of a recap of the important or the highlights. And then every Saturday after that, they at 6 o'clock at that Zoom link, they have the Peace Tribe.
I don't see.
I posted it in the chat.
I don't see it.
Okay, let me see.
Did
I
you
see it. I posted it.
Did
Yeah.
you post it to somebody privately by mistake?
Oh yeah, it says to Lily. Okay, wait a second. I can see if I can copy and redo it.
And what time frame, what time zone is that time that you just mentioned?
That's it's Pacific time, Pacific Daylight Pacific time. Yeah. So that's the link, and it's. There you go. And then let me repost these. Everybody, this is the compassion games. Basically, it's go to that site. It's really interesting because they have all these different challenges for people to do, and it's survival of the kindest. You get earn points. But that's the September peace thing that Unify's doing with that group.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I see Lily says that the Compassion Games link is not a secure site. Basically what that means is they haven't paid for their security certificates. They'll need to do that. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a dangerous site.
Right. I don't too much worry about it because I have double encryption on mine. I have encryption on all my devices, and then I have my router encrypts everything. So I have like double firewall.
And I have whatever my computer has. I have no idea.
Oh, but I have the Bitfinder program I have. I can actually come in anywhere on the planet to the internet. I can pick the country I want to come in off.
Yeah, I know somebody that was trying to explain how to do that at a potluck dinner I was at a full moon potluck dinner. She was explaining how to do it, but unfortunately I had just taken my pain meds and I like half a glass of wine can't hurt, but then they postponed starting to eat, so I had another whole glass of wine, so I don't really remember what happened. I mean, I wasn't, obviously I remember, but it's like there's no way I was keeping track of the details of how to.
Well, the program I have, it makes it really easy. You can click on, it says, where do you want to come in at? And it gives you a big long list, and you just tap with your finger.
Yeah, she was given like the technical, like I'm going to know how to do that even no matter what. Okay, thanks, Yanji. Hi, Adele. I see you're back.
Yes.
Did you get your taxes all finished the other night?
No. One more little paper to do on that. I wait, obviously.
Yeah,
I'll tell you guys this cool thing that happened today. I don't remember which event, which conversation on the harmonic convergence. We were talking about celandine I think celandine, the stone. And so I went to a store today called Nature's Bling, which is right in the town of Sisters, where I am. It's, I'm about 8 miles from town. And I was just asking, where's your celandine? And somehow we got on he was talking about the fellow that owns the store who was military and he applied to be an astronaut at one time. And he's been on ships and planes. And he's never had any kind of interesting visual experience, seeing anything of interest, that was different. And then, but this week, I think it was Tuesday night, he was in Mount Shasta camping with some friends and his kids. And all of a sudden they saw this amazing, I would say, it was orb, or it was, some sort of star thing. It was a ship or something. It was totally quiet, but it was moving. He showed me a number of videos of it, and there were 8 of them watching it, and they just couldn't believe it. It was like going down and then up and then over and back, and no tail lights or wing, no other lights, just white. But then there was an interesting green light mist coming from the woods to the right of it, and then they said it looked like it landed on I don't know Shasta, but they said something like Ascension Rock. And one of the people said, "Oh my God, the harmonic convergence. I mean, all these people, there's 1,000 people out meditating for this to happen, and here we got to see it." So when I told him, "Oh yeah, I was part of the convergence, I was like meditating at that, about that time," and he said, "That's just so wild." And he just said all the hair on his arms stood up when I told him what I was doing, and the other 60,000 people. And so life was interesting at Mount Shasta. So there.
That's cool. Can unless you're speaking, can you mute yourselves, please? There's somebody has either a fan blowing across speakers, or they're breathing into their phone or something.
Hanging out outside.
Oh. Yeah, so unless you're actually talking, just mute yourself, please. Yeah, that's cool, Adele. It's we're there where it's just going to be common. It's not going to be unusual anymore to see things like that.
Has anyone ever had experiences with contacts through animals? I was laying out today in the sun, and this lizard came out of my shed, just like peeked out, and went away. We kind of freaked each other out at first. I didn't know if it was a snake or not. He went away, and then he came back out again, looked at me. We made eye contact, went away. He came back like a third time, and the last time he pulled out, he just went like really slowly went back in. It was just kind of funny. I was wondering if anyone had an experience like that before and actually took it further with like communicating with the animal or something.
Yeah, Linda, go ahead.
That's commonplace for me. I think one of my most profound experiences was actually with a bee. And the bee actually came into my car and was crawling on my face. And there was such a really intense communication telepathically, and it was like just amazing. I communicate with animals all of the time, and I have hummingbirds come right up to my face. It's just I don't know. It's pretty profound. I have three major passions, and that's animals, children, and the elderly. So the animals are very, very special.
That's awesome. I've noticed in the last couple years on Facebook, there are so many people posting videos of animals doing being more human than humans sometimes, and where animals are just reaching out to people. There's a one that was going around, a turkey that loves to come up and give people hugs. Go ahead, Deidre.
I was going to say that I've communicated with animals for a long time. One of my degrees is in veterinary medicine, and so if there was an animal they brought in, like a dog that would bite anybody else, they would send me into the room first to muzzle it. And my son has a bearded dragon. And one day I realized I could tell what Dagon was thinking, right? And I looked at Harley, and my son's name is Harley. And I told him, this is what Dagon is thinking. And Harley looks at Dagon. I tell him, and then we both look at Dagon, and Dagon's going. And I tell him some more. We look at Dagon's going like this. But what's really funny is, like, when you go to your friend's house and you sense what their animals are thinking, right? And there's a person that lives in the building I live in, and he was saying he thought his dog was stupid. But I knew what the dog was saying. The dog was like, no, I just don't give a shit. So it was really funny. And the other day I had to laugh because Sonia was on here and her frogs. Have you heard Sonia's frogs?
Yes, I thought it was geese the other night.
Mm-hmm. I was laughing because they were like saying yes, yes, thank you. They were agreeing with what she was saying, and it was funny. I said, Sonia, you know what your frogs are saying? She said yes, and so we were chuckling about it. You know, and I wasn't paying attention to what they were saying till I walked into the other room. I was paying attention to everybody else more. When I walked into my kitchen and I heard what they were saying, I started laughing, you know. But yeah, animals are like that. I spent a whole winter once with a wild ermine. I was in a cabin, and he'd come in at night, and he didn't make any messes, so I bought him cat food and let him spend the whole winter with me.
Now, are ermine and mink this same thing? Because I see people use them interchangeably sometimes, it seems like.
They're related, but they're not identical. They're like related to ferrets, but they're two different. It was funny because when I came down to Kenai and Soldat, and I was working for a veterinary clinic down here, and the dog catcher brings in a wild ermine, right? And ermine's what we have in Alaska. But anyway, so and the veterinarian's a new vet from Florida. And I walked downstairs, and she's like, oh, I found this person's ferret outside, you know, and I think he's sick. And I'm like, you guys, that's not a ferret, that's an ermine. So it's really bad when a veterinarian and the dog catcher doesn't know that it's a ermine. But ermines in cats and camels this is an interesting thing, but they're actually called, they're reflex ovulators, or like cats. So like if you don't actually spay a ferret or ermines or that breed, they will actually pine. They call it pining, where they'll actually die if they don't have sex or breed. Just different weird things. That's why female cats howl. That's why they actually have a term in veterinary medicine called spay 'em or lay 'em.
Hi, Eliana. I didn't notice you when you came in the room. How are you tonight?
Hi, I'm doing great, Marco. Thank you so much.
Do you have any animal communication stories you'd like to share?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have a lot of stories, but I'll just share how it all started, sort of. I mean,
okay.
I think that we all communicate with animals, you know, to different degrees. It's just that most people are unaware that that's what's going on. But
Or they don't believe it.
Yeah, exactly. They think that I'm just making that up. You know, there's no way my cat said that. But for me, what happened is like the defining moment, I guess, is that I was one day driving in LA traffic. I swear to God, like completely like, but you know how you get into that zone, you're not, you know, thinking about anything in particular. And all of a sudden I connected with this dolphin. And, and it was just such an overwhelming experience. I was weeping like in joy. Like, it's a long story, but there's a part of me that doubted it. Like I was just saying a moment ago. And one day I'm on Facebook, my dad connected me with a friend from childhood. It was like, you know, people that I grew up with, but falling, you know, out of touch with. So my dad reconnected me with this guy, and so we started talking. I hadn't checked his profile, pictures, anything, was just talking to him. And all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I keep getting this image of a dog, like a Doberman to be specific, you know? And I was like, why? Overwhelming, like in my face. I could see it, I could feel it, I could visualize it. And I was like, what is up with this? To the point that I told the guy, can you just give me a minute? I'll be right back. But I didn't go anywhere. I simply closed my eyes and stayed with that. And the dog starts showing me like the living room, the door, like the leading to like the side of the house going towards the sidewalk. It showed me the street. And I'm seeing, like literally seeing all of this environment. And then I got a sense of, he kept showing me as if the guy was holding him like a luggage kind of a thing, you know, like, you know, it's hard to explain, like a handle on his back. And I was like, just paying attention. I just stayed with that for a while. And then after that whole thing, I, you know, opened my eyes back up and I asked the guy point blank, do you have a dog? And he said, yeah, my uncle passed away and he left me, you know, with his dog. You know, he's an older guy. It's like this really cute Doberman. And then he shows me a picture of him. And I'm just getting chills even telling the story. And I was like, he, you know, like, and I haven't talked to this guy in like 30 years. So mind you, it was just a really odd thing to just come out and say like, oh, by the way, I'm talking to your dog, you know? So I said, like, just bear with me. This has never happened before, but I have a feeling that your dog was talking to me and he was saying something about going outside with you, carrying him, like kind of like, almost like when you carry like a piece of luggage, you know, like holding him like that. And he's like, wow, that's crazy. I just took him to the kind of like physical therapist today, his vet and whatever, because he has some joint problems and back problems or whatnot. And that's one thing she recommended, that I buy like this kind of harness now, you know, that you put on the dog and then you can support them. And then I said, yeah, because he keeps showing me like going out to the sidewalk. And then he said, wow, that's really interesting because I haven't been able to take him on walks anymore because his ability to, you know, move is really limited right now. And then there is more to it. You know, the dog showed me him playing with two dogs in a separate room and the door was closed and he was really sad. And so it turns out that the physical therapist that was working with the dog has two pugs. And while he was in there doing hydrotherapy or something, he was in the other room playing with her dogs. So he's basically telling me about his experience at the vet and what was said and what he wanted to do, which was go for walks, you know, with support, all of this stuff. And then I started asking the guy, how is your house? Is this like this? Is the door like there? And everything added up. At the end of it, I was like in tears. I was really moved. And I remember thinking to myself that probably it was the biggest gift that dog could have given me. Because I knew that the conversation I had with the dolphin and with the crow and with the whatever else was really happening, because he gave me a way to confirm everything that he was communicating to me. And so anyway, that's my story. I'm sorry if it was super long, but it's hard to tell without giving all the details. But that was like my very first confirmation, and then it's been a lot of fun since then.
That's a great story. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome.
We have Jamin and Summer Rose in the house, and we have Linda's hand up. Linda, we'll let you talk, and then we'll see what's up with Jamin and Summer.
Thanks, Marco. I was just going to say, also, just like Eliana, animals do communicate in pictures. That seems to be their easiest way to let you know what's going on. And there was a situation years ago when my husband and I encountered this poor Doberman who was locked into a fence guarding a pawn shop. And my husband had said, "Oh, you need to stay away from there. He's really vicious." And I said, no, he isn't. And I guarantee you I'll have him come over and touch my hand in 5 minutes. He said, "There's no way that'll happen." And so I sat down outside of the fence and just began talking to this beautiful animal. And he was showing me pictures of how mean the owner had been and how really starved he was for attention. And I just talked to him. I talked to him verbally, very softly. And within 3 minutes, he was licking my hand. So it's, animals are so special and they are such a gift to us. And I always say that, especially dogs, dog is God spelled backwards.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Linda. Summer, what's going on?
Hey, good to see some people that I've seen already. I'm going to see more and more of you. I'm excited. This is so much fun. Yeah, had some really fun chat over, I guess, the harmonic convergence and Mark's feed, and they were a bunch of people there talking about, contact and this and that, and that's fun. But I like the animal communication. I have a really fun story with the animal communication, if that's what the topic is here, because a friend of mine, this is the coolest thing ever. So I'm sure a bunch of people here know about the Akashic records that are here. It's like the Akashic records are like supposedly it's all written already. It's in the book, and the book is the Akashic records, and our whole story is written in this book and what's happening and all that. So my friend Andrew, who, he says it straight up himself. He has like Asperger's, so he's not very good at communicating, stumbles a lot, talks kind of like 5th grade, kind of whatever. But he met my cat when I got my cat, my kitten, and we spent some time together, and he felt really connected to his cat, to my cat, especially because his cat died when my cat was there. So he felt like his cat's energy went into my cat. He's like, "Oh, my cat just wanted to be a kitten again." So he just jumped into your body. That's why he left. So it's this all beautiful connecting thing. And then a couple of years later, unfortunately, my kitty got killed by a car 2.5 years later. So she was still a baby, and I'm very, very sad. It was the worst experience, one of the worst experiences of my life. But my friend Andrew said that she came and spoke to him, and he said never before did he ever get an animal. And he's gotten a couple, like 3 different times, like he's gotten like these messages from the Akashic records that you're supposed to write this stuff down and give this information to someone. And when he taps in, it's like he's connected to source, like, Shakespearean prose this man speaks in and writes in, even though he can't write like a 5th grader when he's in his like normal zone. So like he like sometimes gets like taken over by the animal kingdom and speaks from them, from their, and supposedly my girl is up there, and she could only stay on Earth for 2.5 years because after the third year, things would have gotten wonky with her being here or whatever. And her main purpose of coming here was to teach me self-love. And she said that I got it. And I'm like, wow, well, thank you. And I have to say, it's kind of crazy because she left in January of 2016. And that's when I went on the Bernie Sanders campaign and spent a year on the road with everyone. And I completely and totally don't have any sort of depression. I was super depressed. I even had suicidal tendencies. Like, I'm talking a lot. Like, I would friggin' spiral out of control. And I never knew if I was ever going to be on top of my emotions, like be able to just be cool and chill and whatever all the time and not like have meltdowns. It's been like 5 years and I have not had one meltdown or one like spiraling out of control. And sure, I'll still get upset about, you know, I'm feeling still, thank God. But it's like, I was like, one, I'm like, do I still feel? Like, this is so weird. So, and it really is true. It's like, love is just all there is. It's like we breathe air on all the time. We don't deny that there's air, even though we can't see it. But love is like the same thing. It's what's even beyond, you know, underneath air is love. You know, it's what makes it all go around. So anytime we personally are feeling messed up or angry at someone or out of fear or whatever, it's us that's getting out of love. Love is always there. We can always just feel love. Even if we disagree with somebody or don't like something, whatever, we can still respond in a way that's loving, that makes us feel loved and the other person feel loved, even if they don't feel accepted, you know? So that was just something that I'd learned through my kitty, my girl. So, thanks.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, we don't necessarily like all our people all the time, but we still love them.
Yes. Because hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
Love that expression. So
yes, that's why it's so important to heal ourselves, because we help with the collective, with other people heal in the process, you know, and we can only heal ourselves, right? And but we can facilitate and kind of support the healing of other people. So yeah, good stuff.
Yay. I know I wanted to plug in and say hi to see who's here. I know I also have to put my man to sleep. He's like, can you say hello to everyone? He's like, and then come back and say goodbye to me and then go back to your, because he sleeps, he's ready for bed. But so I just want to say hi. Are we going to be on here for a while tonight? Are you, is this 20,
yeah. Yep.
right?
Yeah, 24 hours. So.
I'm so impressed with us.
You say it like a muffler guarantee or something like that. Like, yeah, 24 hours guaranteed, you know.
Everyone's gonna know about this. This is great, because who doesn't need to like find a place online where there's somebody there all the time that can like hold space and connect and you know, get us through these crazy times. And we're such a channel of light. Like anyone who comes here will just stumble into like the best possible spot during like the coronavirus. It's like, yay!
I know.
Thank you.
That's it.
And I look forward to holding space too to help you all, because I'm sure you're all like stir crazy. Please help! Lots and lots of time here. So I will step in and I will help too. You know.
Well, actually, since you mentioned that, if you don't mind dropping me your email address before you go, just so I've got it handy, and I'll send you an email. We're going to see if we keep on over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And so anyway, if anyone's interested in hosting, please, and you're not on the email list yet for hosts, please drop your email address for me, either privately or however you want to do it. And with that, Summer, I'm going to let you off the hook. You got to go put your man to bed. Go do that. Love you and look forward to seeing you soon. Woo!
I'm still here, I promise.
Okay, very good.
See you soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
Summer. See you soon. Have a good night.
Yep.
So you missed it a little earlier, Jamin. Yanji came on just to give us a little update on humanity and a couple other things they had going on. There's links in the chat. And he was like, you know, he was trying to go really slow with building out humanity. He wanted, you know, dot his I's and cross his T's with their nonprofit status and everything. But they decided, you know, his cohorts, that they're gonna you know, just move forward and have this event, and And then he got into that mood. He's like, so, you know, he said, at first I was really just upset that they were trying to push it. But then he said, you know, if not now, why not now? And it was just like he was channeling Jamin. It was pretty funny.
Wow, sounds good.
Deidre, I see your hand up. Go ahead, hon.
So I was going to tell you guys an interesting story because notice my cat sitting in my lap. You'll see a black tail that keeps coming up. But I had a cat before him. This one I just adopted when my son moved out. But he was an orange tabby. And my son and I still see him. My son sees him as an orb, as an orange orb. But he'll come by and I can feel like before I even had him, I would feel a cat rubbing himself on my legs. So it was really funny when we were talking about animals and stuff that the cat still visits us. This cat apparently likes the conversation we're having right now.
Yeah, cats are a whole nother. I think they're mysterious. I guess is what I have to say. They're not anything like any other animal.
I have both dogs. I have 2 dogs and 2 cats. And they both obviously communicate, you know, just as every animal does, but their awareness is just different. I feel that dogs are a little bit more, because they've been, I think, with humans so long, and it's just a different kind of relationship. They're a little more grounded, meaning grounded, like they're more like on earth kind of a thing, where cats, just because of their instinct, you know, they're still closer to their wilder side, and, you know, the whole hunting, you know, they're wired and really to be more aware of things. And so I feel that they tend to pick up on the slightest little things that sometimes the dogs were completely overlook. And it's just really cool to witness those differences, you know, in style, I suppose. The energy is just different from the different species.
Do you want to hear a cool dog story?
Yes.
Okay. Years ago, my cousins had this wonderful Great Dane, Babe, who I got to know pretty well and would spend time. And Babe was getting older, and actually for a Great Dane, lived quite a long time. But I left New Jersey where my cousins lived and was in Chicago for a little bit. One night I had a dream that I was floating in space, and Babe and I were kind of had our arms around each other, and Babe shared with me, I felt like when I woke up that I knew everything about the universe and God and life, and it was like all the great secrets were shared with me by Babe. And then the next day, my cousins called and said that Babe had died that night. And it was like, it was just the coolest experience of like knowing what it was like on the other side through, like, with total knowledge. I couldn't say what it was, you know, it was just like you just knew everything without being able to verbally express it, other than it was such an amazing gift from this Great Dane to share that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's very cool, Ileana. We at one point had a Doberman and also had a rabbit. And people would be astounded because they would come to our house and the rabbit and the Doberman were best friends. And the rabbit would sleep between his paws and beneath his jaw.
That's great. We used to have a German Shepherd. Her name was Nikki, and she was like one of the most intelligent dogs I've ever seen. And we had this one black cat. His name was Uno. And they had this game they played. He would come up to her. He would lay down in kind of a horseshoe shape. She would take her nose against his belly and slide him across the linoleum until he hit the wall on the other side. And he'd come running back so they could do it again. It was the most hilarious thing to watch. Eco Diva in the house. How are you tonight?
Hello, everyone. Doing good.
Right now, the topic is kind of animal communication. If you had any, kind of like psychic communication with animals, or just fun animal stories.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, so I have another little story to share, unless somebody else has some story to share.
I'm going to step away for about 5 minutes, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
So carry on.
Okay. So for a while, like right now, obviously with COVID and all that stuff, the rescues are mostly closed. So, for people from the outside to join in. So I haven't done any of that, but I volunteer with horses for quite some time. And there's one particular horse that I used to visit that she was quite old. She passed away already, but she was, I think, like 34 years old. And, she couldn't really be exercised all that much. And so whenever I came to volunteer, stay with her, I would just groom her, just spend time with her and And I was like, what can I do? Because with other horses, when I would come to visit, I would run with them because a lot of them have injuries and they can't be, ridden and stuff. So I would just run, play with those large balls that they can play with, just have fun. But with her, I couldn't do any of that because she was so old, poor thing. But I decided one day that it's like, oh, maybe I'll just read her stories. And one thing I found in my communications and my adventures with animals is that they may carry a lot of wisdom, but at the same time, as Linda was saying, like they communicate with images, and they really like to share images of things that they enjoy. So it could be a toy, a bed, things like, so it's like objects and stuff, but just things that they love. Anyway, so like, okay, let me go read this. She was very childlike. So that's what I was trying to say, sorry. And so I went and brought children's books to read to her. So I would groom, feed, give treats, that kind of stuff. And then I'll read her a book. And what it was the cutest thing in the world is that all the other horses from the other, from around her, they would all come to the fence and listen in, and they would fall asleep listening to the little children's book stories. So if you ever have a chance to go volunteer and do stuff like that with horses, know that they enjoy stories and you can read them books. That's really cute.
I have a gecko also. It's a crested gecko. And he's hilarious. He can stick to the walls and the windows and stuff. So my son has a blue heeler English pointer cross, and when he was still living at home, the gecko would jump on the dog and ride the dog. Okay. And then the gecko would sit on the window and wait for the orange tabby to go to sleep on the table underneath the window, you're right? And then he'd dive bomb the cat and scare the cat and make it run. But it's funny to see a little gecko mess with a cat. He would just literally dive bomb him.
Are those the geckos that blend in really well to bark, tree bark, like camouflage?
No, these ones, they come in different colors. There's even like purple and really pretty purple and gold ones. They don't really blend into everything. They have like they call them crested because they have like a little ridge on both sides down their back. And they eat fruit. They're really cute. He likes to watch television at night. So like if I'm watching Gaia or, I can throw the stuff from my Apple to the TV and watch it on the big screen, and he will sit there and watch it.
That's so cute.
Got the suction cup fingers.
Yep. So I have an interesting thing to ask you guys about. Have you ever experienced, if you go to like, I'll give you an example. I went to the Arizona, and when I went to the Arizona, it was like, when I went on board, the whole place was like pressurized, and not pressurized like everybody else was sensing it, but to me it was like pressurized. And everybody else is dead quiet in there, right? But what I could hear was all the alarm bells going off and orders being shouted. I could hear like what was going on when the boat went down. And so it's like I've been to different historical sites. And when I went back to college in Wyoming, I could hear like Little Bighorn from 30 miles away. I don't know if anybody's ever had any experiences like with those, could sense any of those, or.
I didn't catch that last part. What is that?
Oh, I didn't know if anybody had any experiences around, you know, going places where they could sense stuff that had happened, you know, at those historical
yeah.
sites, or.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sadly, and I grew up in Brazil, and, you know, as similar to here in the States, we did have slavery there, unfortunately. And yeah, I was still a kid when we visit this island outside of Rio de Janeiro that is where they did trade, you know, of slaves. And so they have the areas where they held them. It's like all the stuff where they were auctioned, you know, it's just, but the whole island is a historical place with buildings and things like that. But I just remember, even as a kid, walking through that and just being like, feeling like horrible, devastated, you know, just picking up on the energy that probably is still there this day.
A couple of friends and I, a few years ago, had decided to take a road trip to go up to the Four Corners area. And our intention was to do some clearing on the way. But once we got into New Mexico, the intensity and the sadness was so overwhelming. And then we all began to see all of these images, and they kept calling to us to help to clear the energy from this place and that. We never did make it to Four Corners, but we were on the road for almost 19 hours. So it's, yeah, it's something.
I've had a lot of bird energy that kind of signifies when there's something to pay attention to. Owls mostly and blue heron have both been pretty major messengers. In my family, there was kind of a family lore about right after the whole family had been, I guess, at my great-grandmother's funeral, and it was a big storm, and there was this bird that kept, like, it looked like a raven or just a very large crow, but it came like right up near the windshield as they were driving, and then they kind of ignored it, and then it happened again, and the second time they didn't ignore it, and they stopped the car, and there had been a landslide right in front of where they stopped, and if they had just kept going, there might have been more funerals that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing how animals can try to communicate with you about stuff like that.
I don't know if anyone is familiar with, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying, go ahead.
If anyone here is familiar with the Missing 411 series.
No, I don't remember.
I saw some of that. My son and I watched a few of those.
Yeah, there's some owl correlations that are pretty bizarre. And the same person who does that also has a whole separate kind of series of talking about correlations with non-humans or mysterious events and owls in particular. Kind of messengers from the other side. And I've always had a thing personally for praying mantises. They've just always kind of been very tuned into me and my life. And I found drawings that I didn't remember making, but I went back through my old kid stuff and things that I made in first and second grade, where it's like, I could pick any animal, and I had like a little picture of a praying mantis like hanging out with me, and
Oh, that's so cute.
it's pretty great. I mean, and then when I ended up spawning a lot of them and just sort of like, you know, collecting the eggs and making sure that they hatched and, you know, releasing them in various places. And it's a little like cats. I mean, they're like predators that are killing just everything they can get their hands on, or,
Yeah.
you know, it's a little bit of a mixed energy to introduce into an environment. But I don't, is anyone here familiar with Linda Moulton Howe and Earth Files?
Nope. Tell us about it.
She's a researcher who's been around since, you know, 40 plus years, investigative journalist before that, earthfiles.com. And she was doing a live stream the other night, going into some extreme depth. She's interviewed a lot of whistleblowers. She's been a documenter of the multiple non-human extraterrestrial or pre-terrestrial species that have been here, and a lot of the accounts, and just somebody who puts it all together, is constantly asking for when are we going to have those headlines that say we're not alone in the universe. And I'm like, what's harmonic convergence anyway? But yeah, she had a series of detailed some experiencers who they had actually, it was near in Shelburne, Massachusetts, there's a little lake, and I guess like they actually put a historical marker there just a couple years ago about a historically true event where a UFO basically came out of the local lake, flew over the entire town, and like everybody in the town, the firefight, the mayor's kids, like everybody saw this thing go right over the town. But one person was on the ship and was very much like, this was not an abduction. This was like a completely amazing voluntary experience where I received many, many secrets of the universe. And the person who was on the ship described the occupants of the ship as somewhere between 7 to 10 foot tall praying mantis-like characters who were telepathic and expressed deep empathy and seemed to be timeless, and referred to, you know, us as their kind of like, that they were very hopeful that we would make it, but that, you know, empathy for the struggle of humankind. And yeah, so praying mantises have been also like another one of these kind of gateway species a bit that may, you know, exist in other forms. The other one that came up recently, I met Linda Tucker through the World Unity Week. She was in one of the open spaces and ran some of the ceremonies, and you can look up Linda Tucker online. She's done a lot with helping Native and Indigenous people around the world protect sacred sites, and working with Asagaya and other organizations through Africa and other continents to assist that being an ongoing reality, that Indigenous people are protecting the sacred sites. But she's been on a very strong kick with White Lions. So I think whitelions.org is her website. And so the notion of like the Sphinx is maybe this pre-human super species that had been, you know, instrumental in earlier stages, and or the rise of the new kind of apex species, rather than the human as this sort of like, we're in charge and we can do whatever we want without any, you know, with moral impunity, etc., and bring about a sixth extinction event. That maybe the next phase for us could be to be more like she was saying, like a lion, like that, you know, doesn't kill unnecessarily and kind of maintains order in a sense with some, you know, pride and power. And so that was another kind of like gateway between higher level species and what we might think of as just cute cuddly animals or whatever.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'd love to just check in for a sec. So having kicked this off at 7 o'clock this morning, it's now close to 11 here on the West Coast. So I'm going to be taking a night break, get some good sleep. And but let me just check in to see who has appetite to. I mean, Marco, are you like wanting to carry the torch for a while, or how you feeling? How's everybody feeling? Just checking in.
I can go probably till about 3:30, something like that. You know, these last 10 days were so exciting. I don't know if you heard earlier, I haven't been putting my feet up like I need to, and my feet were swollen like parade floats, parade balloons. Took me 10 hours to get the fluid back where it belongs.
Well, listen, Marco, definitely do not push yourself, buddy. Do what you need
Well,
to
it
do.
was the excitement, man. You know, what can I say?
Oh, man. Well, no, I love that you're excited, and I just want you to take care of yourself.
I'm working on that.
All righty. Well, I'll tell you what, whoever wants to be co-host, just let me know. What I'll do is reset the recording. That'll just take like just literally seconds. Is everyone good to continue recording? And
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'll be on here for a while, but I'm earlier than, I mean, it's only 9:49 in Alaska.
Right. Do you want to be co-host, Deirdre?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
let me make you co-host. And if anyone else wants to be co-host, just let me know. Oh, okay. There we go. All right, you're
Yeah,
co-host.
you can make me a co-host. I might stay late too.
Oh, Eliana? Okay, great. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure. Can't guarantee, but.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording and then start a new recording. I'll just do like 5 seconds of station identification at the start of that. All right, here goes in 3, 2, 1.